You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floormeister Studios. Floormeisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
How the heck are you, Miller and Moulton? MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Final Football Friday of the season. It's Mark's second birthday. He gets the bone marrow transplant later today. Top of the morning to you.
Good morning.
What kind of a night did you have? You okay?
Yeah, a little better night. No chemo last night, so I got a little more rest. So that was kind of nice. Got to get to bed at a decent hour. So I feel a little better rested, but obviously a little nervous and anxious today.
Sure. Can't understand that. Glad we could be a distraction for you. By the way, final day for Rick Church to be the third man in the booth, so to speak. And
well, for now,
right.
He'll be back.
Right. Roger next week. Then Rick comes back. And so Rick's going to be like, you mean I get to sleep in?
We have a two-man rotation, David. We have a two-man rotation. Right
we do. We're Spawn and Sane, and we're praying for rain. Right. This is Spawn, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Spawn.
When I get used to sleeping in, David, then I have to get back into waking up again. So.
Right.
It's all good.
Koufax,
all right.
Our Koufax in Drysdale.
There you go. I like it.
Right here. Rick and Roger. So, Rick, thanks for everything this week. Goodness knows we wouldn't be on the air without you. So is the poll question as easy as who you got?
You got it. Didn't waste any time. Not a lot of letters. Just get that sucker up. You know what I mean?
Yep. Seattle or New England? I think it's close enough that we don't have to throw a point spread up there. You know, if this was the first Giants-Patriots Super Bowl when the line was 12.5, I think you had to, put a point spread attached to who you got. But, 4, 4.5, 5. I mean, listen, New England can win this thing, obviously. So who you got? Seahawks, Patriots. Let's go.
I'm ready. I feel like I'm getting ready. I think I'll be completely ready because the wife's coming up for today and she's bringing chips and dip, David. That is, I'm excited about my chips and dip Sunday.
Nice. Anything different? Anything new? Anything you haven't gone with in a while?
No, just keeping it, my Frito-Lay potato chip and my French onion dip. I'm good.
Okay. All right. By the way, is there anything food-wise that you can't have? Because of what
like no sushi and no raw fish. And I'm just kind of sticking with when I get out of the hospital, I can go to restaurants, but they don't want me doing places like salad bars. You can't do anything where, the chance of bacteria getting in your food, things of that nature. So I got to be careful for the next few months.
Gotcha. Last night was a big night in the NFL. They call it NFL Honors, and they throw a lot out there for one night. We find out who makes the Hall of Fame, and then they hand out all the awards, including MVP. And did Coach of the Year surprise you?
No, it did not.
Mike Vrabel won it. He was up against Shanahan, Ben Johnson, Liam Cohen, and who's the other one? There's one more.
Was McDonald on the list?
Yeah.
And it was, I guess it was a two-man fight that the voters ended up basically coalescing around Vrabel or Cohen. And it was close. Vrabel won 1916.
I mean, I thought that he was going to win, and I thought Ben Johnson would get more consideration for what they turned around in Chicago. But it was, we don't pay much attention to the Coach of the Year vote typically, David. We really don't. This year, you could have made a compelling case for every single candidate, every single one.
Totally.
And I don't ever recall a time in which we even discussed the coach of the year, let alone what good jobs all of these guys did.
I do remember us discussing when they announced who the finalists were, and that was our conclusion, that would you really criticize someone who voted for any of these 5? And so, like, to me, I think I might have voted Kyle Shanahan.
That's where I was leaning because of the injuries and what they had to go through, and they still were able to win in a very good division. Nothing to take away from Vrabel, but when you break down the schedule, we kind of pointed it out early in the season that, wow, they don't play a difficult schedule, and they made the most of it. So you have to give them credit for that. But they had their Indiana schedule, if you will, from 2 years ago, if you know what I mean. And they did what they were supposed to do.
Right. So the NFL also announcing some teams and some games outside the U.S. Apparently the Cowboys get game 2, what has become the Brazil game.
Enjoy yourself, David. You should have fun.
No, it's been NBC the last 2 years.
Oh, that's right.
Now, or no, it's been a streamer, hasn't it?
It's because the Thursday game that opens is the NBC game,
right? And then
Friday did they go to Prime because they don't get their Thursday game?
I don't know. I don't think Alan Kirk did it.
I
think
don't
it was
either.
Somebody else, but they went streamer for game 2. And this year they gave them the Cowboys. Cowboys have never played in Brazil. Obviously, they will this year. So they settled on the Rams home game. NFC teams get 9 home games this year. So you're going to see a lot of, if not all, NFC teams being the home team in all these international games. And the Rams home game with the Niners is what ends up being the Australia game.
Now, do you have a shot at getting that?
Well, that's interesting. So apparently it's a 16-hour time difference from the East Coast to where they're playing in Australia. 16 hours. How important is what time the game kicks off in Australia for the NFL? What's more important? What time it's going to air in the States or what time it kicks off in Australia?
Well, David, I mean, I'm not trying to split the middle here, but you have to have a big crowd. So you can't play the game at 7 a.m. if you know what I mean.
Well, right.
I'm trying to it's way too early for me to wrap my head around a 16-hour time difference. I have to. I mean, I need a chart. If I had a chart, I would be in a better spot right now. If I was known we were doing math this early, I would have been prepared for it. That is on me.
Can I try the math? Okay. And so, and maybe it'd be a little less painful for you. So an 8:15 p.m. start in the States is a noon kick the day forward in Australia. So a primetime game, a Thursday game, a Monday game, a Sunday night football game. That's essentially a noon kickoff in Australia.
But
now,
the next day, right?
Yes. Yes.
So it would be Monday at noon.
Well, it'd be Tuesday. No, it'd be Tuesday at noon in Australia. It's Monday night in the States.
Right. So that doesn't really work to draw a crowd there.
Okay.
I would try to do it. I mean, they're not going to do it on Sunday. Well, I mean, I guess they could. It could be a Saturday night game, but they don't really want to come at college. I don't know. That would be interesting.
Okay. You figure it can't be the 9:30 a.m. European window because that would be 1:30 a.m. over in Australia.
That doesn't work.
Okay. 1 o'clock in the States then becomes 7 a.m. in Australia.
That doesn't really seem to work either.
And the 4:30 window becomes 10:30 in the morning the next day forward. So I think, okay, I mean, if I'm doing my math correctly. I mean, I'm sorry, by the way, 8 p.m. Would that be noon or would it be 2? No, it'd be noon. By the way, it's 19 hours to the two teams that are involved. It's a 19-hour, I believe, time difference. So, I mean, think about it. We've got like the Australian Open plays at 3:30 in the morning here in the States, those finals. That's because those finals are in prime time in Australia at like 7:30.
Right.
So, I mean, 16 hours forward from 8 p.m., I believe, is noon. So doesn't that seem like that's the best of bad time slots for this event?
Well, and the other side of this, David, so what are you saying? Give me that scenario again. It's what time here and what time over there?
If it's a prime time game, Thursday, Sunday, Monday, Eastern time zone, 8 o'clock, it means it's a noon kickoff in Australia.
Okay. And I mean, it's two Western teams in the United States, so that's a 5 o'clock Pacific kick.
Correct.
That's got to be important to how they're doing this, I would think.
I would think so too.
That is far more math than we needed. I have savvytime.com up on my computer right now, so I can go from Australian Eastern Daylight Time to Eastern Standard Time.
Well, but the other thing that I'm thinking is you got to figure there's a bye week coming out of the Australia game, right?
I would hope so.
Also, I think Monday night's got a really good chance to get this for this reason. It gives them an extra day or two to get there. And then bye week on the other side of it, you won't play another game in the States for 12, 13 days.
Well, down under, David. That's what we've always wanted to call you for all these years. At least I have.
Gotcha.
Miller and Moulton, we still haven't gotten to the Hall of Fame and the new class of Hall of Famers. They didn't fill it again. The starting five coming up: Lee Sterling in 45 minutes time and Pat Kirwan all ahead. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
When Glass Doctor replaces your windshield, we don't just send you on your way, we send you off protected. Your local Glass Doctor includes the industry's only 12-month windshield protection plan at no extra cost. That means unlimited chip repairs and even a one-time replacement if needed. High-quality service backed by real peace of mind, right here in your neighborhood.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Exclusions apply. See your local Glass Doctor for details.
This is Miller and Moulton.
So I was thinking if we wanted to back up the poll questions, I had two other. Deadstroke, yes, I did. I sent the email to the Moffat guy yesterday. I'm hoping I hear back from him. I went as high up on the chain as I could. And fortunately, I have so many people that I've emailed from Moffat. I had a pretty good stab at how to get there, and it didn't get bounced back to me because his email was not on his, page on the website. But I just took a stab based on what other emails are from people here at Moffat, and I'm hoping it got to the right place. And I used ChatGPT to make sure I wrote a very professional email as well. I had a thought for two other poll questions, David. One, if Seattle wins and Sam Darnold is not the MVP, who is the most likely MVP in list 4? And the same thing with New England, because obviously the quarterbacks are 1 and 2 in the odds.
Okay.
And then if we wanted, if we want to have, what is the one snack that you must have for the Super Bowl?
What snack?
Yeah, wings, pizza, what if you only could have one snack, what would it be? And Ryan, I think you're right. I mean, if David could get to Dallas and jump Air Aikman for the Australia flight, that's you got to do it. Or David's using every upgrade that he has on this planet to get moved up to at least business class on that plane, because that is a long flight. I mean, you'd be going Jacksonville, Dallas, Atlanta, somewhere to LA to Australia, probably would be my guess.
Golly. Please, no. The good thing is I didn't use Air Aikman this year. So.
If I were you, I'd take a week off of the show if you go and try to take your wife.
She won't come.
No? Too much flying?
Yeah. No way she'd come. It's a shame. But.
Man, I went to bed before the third. I missed a little brawl.
Oh, God. I'll tell you what. And we love them. But somebody needs to beat the shit out of Kachuk.
It'd be in the evening, Shimko. I mean, it would be 9 o'clock till it would be 9 to 1.
Like right now in Melbourne, which is where the game is.
It's 9 p.m. It's 9:19.
I think it's 10:15 in Melbourne. In other parts of Australia, it's like 11, 9, 7. But the game's in Melbourne. It's 16 hours. It's 10:19 a.m.
Okay, so
PM.
yeah, so you'd be 10 to 2 if you did it.
Right. The show would be 10 p.m.
I wouldn't
to
expect
2
you to
a.m.
be doing the show. But also, that's David's perfect time slot.
Oh, my God. At least
Old
the
school
guy-
Moulton would be so happy with that time slot.
Oh, my God.
Hagel did a pretty good number on him there. I will agree with that, Spitz. I saw that. First ever shot. Had two goals in the second period there. That was awesome. I actually made my first hockey bet of the year last night. There was a 50% boost, and I just flat out took the Lightning last night. I'm like, they're winning this game. The Wings need to win 14 of 24 to make the playoffs, David.
The Panthers may have to win 20.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. It's our final Football Friday of the year.
Football Friday.
I should have said of the season.
Right, not of the year. We'll do
Right.
some again in the fall.
Yes, we will.
And we will not do any in the summer. We will not do a Football Friday for the UFL. It will not happen. I can
No,
assure you of that.
It will not.
Although this summer there is the chance for a Football Friday.
Look at you. Look at you. Do you really? Do you want to go there? That'd
Hey,
be
you
two
and
or
I are
three
fired
of
up
them.
about you are fired up about the World Cup. I'm fired up about the World Cup.
Yep, I am.
I mean, I'm not as fired up about the World Cup as I am about the U.S. mixed doubles curling team beating Canada this morning to go 3-0 already in early preliminary play.
Wow.
3-score 7th end to come from behind and beat Canada.
So let me get this straight. 2 of our 3 wins are come from behind. The big dramatic first win was what? 2 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, and now we 3 in the 7th. I mean, we are just what are they, the cardiac kids, Mark?
Do you believe in miracles, David?
Take it easy there, big fella. Take it easy there. Doesn't come out during preliminary round action.
Well, it's just
any
reminiscent.
sport.
The comeback is reminiscent of what the 80 team did, David, and I think you just need to acknowledge it.
Well, it is true. We played from behind early and often in that Olympic hockey tournament. That
And we got in game 1, who did the mixed doubles team beat? Sweden. In 80, who did the men's team tie? Sweden. I'm just saying.
Okay.
It's lining up, David. It's lining up.
We had Czechoslovakia in round 2 in 80. Who'd we have?
Norway.
Gotcha. All right.
And the fact that I can just rattle this off my tongue is embarrassing and great.
It is.
Fantastic all at the same time.
It is. And the fact that you watched long periods of all of this is tremendous.
This morning I put it on. It was already over. I was so disappointed. I can't believe I got up late.
Well, I'm sure you could redo it at some point on Peacock if you really need to.
Yeah, I don't know. When you start rewatching curling, you have a problem.
There's no question about that. Rewatching curling. Hello. Our poll question, Super Bowl 60, who you got? Seattle, New England, who you picking to win or rooting for or whatever, however you want to define who you got.
Who you got?
So, all right. Hall of Fame class 2026. So the reports were right. Roger Craig got the votes. He was the one senior committee person who got in. Not Belichick, not Kraft, not Ken Anderson, not L.C. Greenwood. It was Roger Craig. Very interesting then. And obviously, the same people are voting. So they selected Roger Craig, but they didn't select Frank Gore.
Right. Exactly. Thank you for starting there. That seems odd to me.
That does seem odd to me. Now, I think Craig's best was better than Gore's best, but Frank Gore rushed for 16,000 yards. 3rd all time. 3rd.
Who's the best team he played for? Because I do think that there's something about the winning that matters to that Hall of Fame currently. There were, they've gone through different phases, David, when guys were getting in who, played for bad teams, if you will. And I thought they were always aware of the greatness of the player, not necessarily the greatness of the team they played for. The exception is Steeler players because they were getting in always.
Right.
But I just wonder if Frank Gore not having the ultimate success as a team hurt his candidacy.
Well, he was a longtime San Francisco 49er. He was the bell cow back for Jim Harbaugh, when they went to those 3 straight NFC championship games and lost the Super Bowl to Baltimore. The final half dozen years of his career, he was playing for, the Colts teams were sneaking into the playoffs under Andrew Luck, but he wasn't on the Colts team that made it to the AFC championship game. Played a year with the Dolphins, year with the Bills, year with the Jets. I think the Bills team was the first one that Josh Allen took to the playoffs in 2019, but by then he was 36 years old and he was just a 600-yard rusher on that team. But Frank Gore rushed for 1,000 yards 9 times. No, he did play 16 years, but still, he rushed for 1,000 yards in a season 9 times. However, and the one time he had his second year in the league, he had just under 1,700 yards. Most of the others were all around 1,100 or so yards in a season.
Well, and that's what I was going to say, because that was, correct me if I'm wrong, David, and I may be. It's still early. The wires aren't really touching this morning.
I got you.
But wasn't there a period of time in which we really quit crediting the 1,000-yard rusher? We were at 16 games, and it wasn't seemingly the accomplishment that it once was. And now it seems to be, because we've gone away from the running game, it's kind of come back. Didn't Gore fall into that a bit, David? Is that a fair statement?
Interesting, because his heyday was from 2006 through 2014. 9 years, he rushed for 1,000 yards 8 times. That was his heyday. But that was Peyton Manning, Tom Brady's, go time also. That was, end of Favre, beginning of Aaron Rodgers' go time also.
But those that got in, Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald, each in their first year of eligibility,
right.
Those were the slam dunks. Everybody knew that.
Correct.
Adam Vinatieri gets in. Luke Kuechly gets in. They were both in their second year of eligibility.
Right. It surprised a lot of people last year that Kuechly didn't get in first time. Right. So those 4 and Roger Craig.
But obviously, no Eli, no Kraft, no Belichick. And, David, I hate doing this, but I'll do it anyhow. Next year, first-year guys.
Lay it on me.
Adrian Peterson.
Oh,
Rob Gronkowski.
That should be a dunk.
Richard Sherman.
I don't know about that one.
Ben Roethlisberger.
That should be a dunk.
There's others, but those are the ones that I think are, worthy of talking about. Some good players on the list. I don't think that they're of the ill of the guys that I mentioned.
I have said that Frank Gore is the Craig Biggio candidate for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Craig Biggio ended up with over 3,000 hits. Yet, was Biggio a first ballot, or was he like third or fourth? I think he was 3,060 hits. And, people said, he was a very good player, but he was a very good player for a long time. He was an accumulator.
Compiler, yes.
A compiler, right. That was the word.
That's the word, compiler. And I've heard people say that with Frank Gore.
Right.
Boy, it's a different sport, and he's running the rock in football. Tough to be a compiler, to me, in football. It is. You either can do it or you can't. Because when you can no longer get yards from scrimmage, David, you can't get yards from scrimmage. And I know that's a very simplistic term, but and look at Christian McCaffrey's a Hall of Famer. I believe that right now. But, we talked about him this year. He doesn't have the burst anymore. And all of a sudden it's 3 yards from the line of scrimmage and there's not big plays. Frank Gore continued to amass yards throughout his career. It was pretty impressive.
Frank Gore for 16 years averaged exactly 1,000 yards a season and averaged over 4 yards a carry for 16 years. He's third all time on the rushing list. So to review, the owner with the most Super Bowl rings, The coach with the most Super Bowl rings and the second most wins, and the third leading rusher, not good enough this year.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeister's prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Get ready, Southwest Florida. The Southwest Florida Ag Expo is back. Now's the time to save big with the Mega Pass. Your all-in-one ticket to the fun, one low price. Get you one-day admission and unlimited midway rides. Mega Passes available online through February 26th at swflagexpo.com. Don't wait. Grab yours. Get ready for roots, rides, and real fun. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
This is Miller and Moulton.
I did not, Johnny Finger Lakes. The whatever the Sweden, no. Yeah, I think it was the Sweden-Germany game was on in the morning, but I did not. And I know the U.S. game was on. I know they were leading. A friend of ours came up and visited me yesterday, so I was with him for probably an hour. And then I had a lot of people in and out. I had a busy morning. And I may be a bad person. I am not. I am not a women's sports fan. I'm not. I like women's tennis a lot. I can watch like the ski. I'll watch the skiing because I can't ski. So it doesn't matter if they're men or women. They impress me. But having done play-by-play of professional hockey for all the years I did, these girls aren't as good as East Coast Hockey League skaters. So I when I watch it, it looks slow to me. Now that goal that the girl from Minnesota had, I'll watch a highlight. It was great. But to watch a whole game with no contact, no thanks. I mean, I'll watch women's softball as an ode to my father, but I also love softball, and I have a childhood friend who has been involved in the game his whole life. But I'm just not. I mean, even women's golf, and I love their swings, but they don't have any personality, so I don't watch it. If there was just one camera on Charlie Hall, I might watch her play 18 holes, especially if she was still smoking. Oh no, I said I'll watch the skiing, Johnny. I will watch this because I can't do that. They're all fast. Women's volleyball is good. I prefer, if I were to watch volleyball Empire, I would rather watch the beach volleyball version than 6-on-6 volleyball or 7-on-7 or whatever it is they play. What do they play with 7? 3-3 and a setter, right? Do I have that right?
Volleyball?
Yeah. How many people are on the volleyball court? Is it 6 or 7?
I think it's 7.
Thought it was 3-3, like a 3-3 and a setter in the middle. But if I'm wrong, I apologize. I didn't hear the interview, but apparently Francesa ripped Radio Row last week and just said, well, no one's out here anymore because the NFL made it too expensive for everybody. He's right. I have a newfound respect for women's basketball, having done games with David over the years. You know, I really enjoyed watching Carl's team play, but I don't watch the WNBA unless Caitlin Clark's playing. Fully admit it. Couldn't get me to no interest. By the way, they've been up against stuff. I don't know if you saw the thing, David, but that Unrivaled did really well at the gate. The TV draws way off from last year. TGL way down from last year. Now, their time slots have been bad.
Gotcha.
I mean, they've been going up against, the TGL's been early. The Unrivaled was against some football. I mean, so it's hard to really put okay, 6. All right. Thanks, Johnny O. I did Negril. If you've never been to Negril, and it's been like almost 30 years since I've been there, but there was a place called The Bus. Best jerk chicken I've ever had. And it was The Bus because there was a school bus beached in the sand there.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Lee Sterling will join us then. The all-important anthem play. Over under on the anthem. Lee spent the night in consultation with his daughter. She's 10-0-1. And the last anthems in the Super Bowl would have been 11-0, except Reba double dipped at the end. Last year was last year, right?
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah, I don't know. Last year, year before, whatever. So, Lee Sterling coming up at the top of the hour. It is time for
The Starting Five. 5 big stories you need to know. Here is The Starting Five.
The Starting Five brought to you by Lee County, Florida. Temperatures getting back to normal. They'll be there soon. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
So you're telling me it's no longer the BST stands for BS temperatures?
Correct.
I have not seen the outside in a while, David. I have no idea what that is.
They're not where folks want them, but will be by early next week. Okay? And it's getting warmer every day.
I know my tomatoes have been affected. That's my only report.
Well, and that's a catastrophe. Let's be honest. NFL, a lot going on last night. Hall of Fame class of 2026 was announced. Drew Brees, obvious. Larry Fitzgerald, obvious. Luke Kuechly, we thought he'd be obvious last year. Adam Vinatieri and Roger Craig. No Belichick, no Kraft, no Eli, no Frank Gore in the Hall of Fame class of 2026. Matthew Stafford wins the MVP and announces he's coming back next year. So there, let's just put all that to bed right now. Rams still have 2 first-round picks. Do they spend one of them on a quarterback? You know, how much longer do you go before you're finding his, the heir apparent? But the Rams at least know they have Stafford for another year. Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett, no surprise. Comeback Player of the Year, Christian McCaffrey. Coach of the Year, Mike Vrabel, edged out Liam Cohen by 3 votes to win the honor. NFL announced the Cowboys are going to be the home team in Rio, second game of the season. And the NFL announced it'll be the Rams, the home team against the Niners in Melbourne, Australia. Schedule comes out mid-May. NBA. No Giannis, no Ja Morant trade yesterday. So they stay with Milwaukee and Memphis, respectively. Clippers, man, beginning of the week, they'd won 16 of 19. Okay, and they were hard charging. Then Harden wants out. And now they decided, you know what? Why don't we just get ready for 2027 and beyond? They traded away their starting center, Savika Zube, who's good for like 14 points, 11 rebounds a game, 29 years old. They traded him to Indiana for 2 first-round picks, including the one coming up in 5 months. Have you checked Indiana's record? They're one of the 4 worst teams in the league. Now, the pick is top 4 protected. So the Clippers get the pick if it falls somewhere between like 5 and 10. Otherwise, it becomes an unprotected pick in like 5 years. But they get some role players and 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick from Indiana for trading away their starting center. Nets release guard Cam Thomas, who was going to be a free agent. They were tired of him. He was tired of them. So he can sign with anybody he wants. He'd be a good scorer off the bench for a contender. Orlando got the first career double from Jalen Suggs. 15 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists. Magic beat the Nets by 20, 118-98. So the Pistons heading into last night were 24 games ahead of the Wizards in the standings. 24 games. Washington went into Detroit and beat the Pistons by 9.
And pounded them early. I mean, they were up early and held on for the game. That is just bizarre in that league some nights.
Lakers beat the Sixers 119-115. Luka, however, injured his left leg. Bears watching. Charlotte, 8 straight wins for the Hornets. They're still like 4 below 500, but look out for the Hornets. They beat Houston in Houston, 109-99.
With the Bulls losing, that puts them in the 10 spot, though. They're in the play-in right now, Charlotte. So that would be big for them.
Yeah, be huge. Wemby had 29 points, 11 rebounds. Cooper Flagg at 32 points, his 4th straight game of 30 or more points. San Antonio beat Dallas by 12. Golden State down 14 in the 4th on the road in Phoenix. Came back, beat the Suns 101-97. Toronto beat those Bulls 123-107. And Alexander Walker hit the game-winning bucket with a second to go for Atlanta, 121-119 over Utah. College hoop, just one game involving a ranked team. Michigan was a 24-point favorite. They won by 41.
I think they had it covered at the half, David.
Second-ranked Wolverines, 110-69 over Penn State. FGCU had a 21-point lead mid-second half and lost at Eastern Kentucky, 76-74. Jacksonville lost at Queens, 93-84. North Florida got a nice road ASUN win last night, beat West Georgia, 81-73. By the way, Mark, during the commercial break yesterday, we were asked for our ASUN picks, and we had 2 half-point wins on the ASUN last night. They don't count for us. Once again, they were freebies, okay? But we had 2 half-point wins on the ASUN last night.
Congratulations. That was all you. I don't even remember talking about it.
Buzz Williams, this first year at Maryland is not going well. Ohio State beat the Terps by 20, 82-62. NHL, 7 games. The Lightning and Panthers are done with one another, right? That's it. They've already played each other. I don't think they play each other again. They average like 115 penalty minutes a game throughout the season. There was a brouhaha at the end of the second period because Kachuk took a cheap shot. I know that's going to shock you, right? Matthew Kachuk with a cheap shot. At which point, the Lightning kicked his butt.
Yeah, Brendan Hengel did a bit of a number on him last year.
Yes,
he really did.
Yes, he did. Tampa Bay 6-1 over Florida. Vasilevsky with 33 saves. He's 16-0-1 in his last 17.
Is that good?
It seems it to me.
Okay.
I don't know about you. The Rangers were shut out for the 9th time this year, 7th time at home. Carolina 2-0. They enter the break 8-0-2 in their last 10. The Penguins got 2 goals from both Avery Hayes and Ben Kendall in a 5-2 win over the Sabres. The Kendall kid's 18 years old.
And Avery Hayes, that was his first game in the NHL. First game in the NHL. Parents are there, whole thing, scores 2. Awesome.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah. Amazing night. By the way, bodes well for the future of the Pens, huh? Islanders scored 2 in the third, beat the Devils 3-1. Ottawa in overtime, 2-1 over Philly. Caps double up the Preds 4-2, and Vegas scored 4 in the first, and that was enough. They beat the Kings 4-1. Baseball. Skubal won his arbitration. He makes $32 million a year. Still only the second highest paid pitcher on the team, but the 1 and 2 starters for Detroit are making $70 million, which it sounds like the Marlins payroll, right? Skubal and Valdez equals the Marlins.
The Tigers are going to spend like $224 this year, I read yesterday. That's their record ever.
I still think they need a bat.
I could not agree with you more, but you can get that during the season.
Yes, you can. The WBC rosters are set. There's a bunch of star players not playing because they can't get insured. One of them's Mike Trout. Does that mean we've seen the last of Mike Trout representing Team USA in competition? Remember, there is the Olympics coming up in 2028. Guardians closer, Emmanuel Clase. Remember, we just thought it was a few pitches and a few games, the whole, intentionally throwing balls and people betting on the first pitch of the at-bats. Yeah, authorities yesterday said, no, we think it's about 48 games. Holy guacamole. Winter Olympics, women's hockey, U.S. 5-1 over Czechia. Opening ceremonies are later today. Mark, what U.S. curling teams 3-0?
Mixed doubles, big win over Canada, 3 in the 7th. The 7th end, that is. They go 8 in mixed doubles. So 3-0, U.S. mixed doubles curling team off to a great start.
And Michaela Schifrin, one of the greatest women skiers in history. She raced 6 events last Olympics. She didn't finish 3 of them, didn't medal in the other 3. She said, yeah, I'm only going to run 3 events this time. I'm going to run the slalom, the giant slalom, and the team competition. And in the team competition, I'm going to race the slalom. Only 3 events for Schifrin this time around. Lots of golf news. First round of the Phoenix Open. Chris Gotterup has a 2-shot lead at 8 under. Hideki at 3 under. Homa at 2. Spieth at 1. Fowler even. Scotty Scheffler had an out-of-body experience on the course yesterday. I mean, he's 2 under par. He had made 29 consecutive rounds under par on tour, and he just loses it. He duffs a couple chips. He puts a tee ball in the water, shoots 2 over.
Made 5 bogeys, I think.
Yeah, looks human. I could relate to Scotty Scheffler for about 2 hours yesterday. By the way, this Koepka comeback's going well. He shot 4 over. The longest putt he made all day was 4 feet 2 inches. LIV, 3-way tie for the lead at 10 under. Rahm is at 9 under. Sergio at 8 under. They're playing 4 rounds. Remember, they're no longer 54 holes. They're 72. And the DP World Tour in Qatar, Patrick Reed is taking this thing seriously. He's got a win. He's got a T2. And he's tied for the lead after the first round of the Qatar Masters at 7 under par. You got to put him back on the U. If he's going to play like this again, if he's going to play, I mean, first off, he's been off the PGA Tour for 3 years. He's still top 30 in the world with the world golf ranking points. You know how hard that is to go to LIV for 3 years and still be top 30 in the world? Put him on put him on the President's Cup team, for goodness sakes. Let's get him back in the fold. And at 9 minutes before the hour, that was the starting five. 5 big stories you need to know. Brought to you by Lee County, Florida. Building a better community through BST, business, sports, and tourism.
So we've got a poll question up. It's who you got in the Super Bowl. It's that simple. I have thought about a handful of others.
All right.
You know, the MVP. If Seattle wins and it's not Darnold, who is because obviously the quarterback's the easy choice. If New England wins and it's not Drake May. Put it this way. Could you see a New England victory without Drake May being the MVP? I could see Seattle, where you want to go Smith and Jigba, you want to go Walker. I mean, I can see someone else winning it for Seattle. I don't foresee a way for New England to win it without Drake May being the MVP of the game. I don't, David.
I guess the only other scenario would be the Patriots defense makes Sam Darnold look like old Sam Darnold.
Right.
But no. I think the best scenario for New England to win the Super Bowl is Drake May looks like regular season Drake May.
100%. And they have to make Sam Darnold look like he did when he threw 4 picks against the Rams.
Not the guy who's played the regular season finale against the Niners and the 2 playoff games against the Niners and the Rams.
Exactly.
Because I believe that's 3 games in a row without a turnover.
And his, you get into the QB ratings if you want to. He's like at 124. I mean, it's been impressive what he's done here in the postseason.
Very much so. Miller and Moulton. Lee Sterling from Paramount Sports will get the anthem over under and much more on the game coming up with Lee next.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
At the Diamond District, we've built our inventory since day one.
We never pass on beautiful jewelry. For years, we've chosen exceptional diamonds and fine jewelry.
And when you buy with love for 2 decades,
your vault fills with extraordinary jewelry. That's why we're emptying the vault now through Valentine's Day. Enjoy rare pricing on jewelry chosen to celebrate love, connection, and commitment.
Will you be mine? Starts with diamonds from the Diamond District. Hablamos Español.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Hey, football fans, Jimmy the Beef Guy here. This is coming up fast. Wait, did you just beat me? You mean I can't say soup? Whatever. So, guys, if you're having a football party, don't wait till last minute. Remember, guys, our beef packages come with the beef, the gravy, the bread, the peppers. All you have to do is heat and serve. So call me now or stop in one of our 2 locations in Bonita Springs or Fort Myers. And again, guys, please don't wait till last minute, man. Put your orders in now.
This is Miller and Moulton.
He got the link. There he is.
Good morning, Lee. Lee, can you hear us? Hello, Lee.
Good morning.
There we go.
Everything good, guys?
Yeah,
Good as can be.
Okay. So you got your mini studio going, Mark.
Yep.
How many stations you got on TV? Your TV there?
Just one television, Lee. I'm limited.
I know.
I'm very limited.
No, how many stations?
I don't even know. I brought my Fire Stick, so I've got my YouTube TV.
Okay.
I got everything that I had at home.
Good.
So I've got Peacock. I've got I've got everything, everything I need. I've got
Good.
my ESPN Plus. I've
Right.
got Peacock. I've got HBO. I mean, Netflix. I'm good to go.
Yeah.
About 5 seconds. Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this final football Friday of the football season.
Football Friday.
Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. And during football Fridays, at this time, Lee Sterling joins us. Paramount Sports, ParamountSports.com, 800-400-9741. Lee, people have been hounding us all week. When are you going to have Lee on? Okay, is Lee going to come on and talk about the anthem? Okay, is Lee coming on? Yes, he's coming on. First off, how you doing?
I'm good. Always calm on Fridays, 2.5 days almost before the game. So, a little bit of nervousness. It affects probably the next month. You win and they call up your clients and they're in a great mood. If you lose, even if you had a great season, they'll tell you it was a horrible year.
Lee, I'm curious because, we talk to other betting people this week. We don't do it really during the season. We do more this week than we do any other time, obviously. How much do you try to, if at all, for yourself or for your clients, middle bets? Because it's 2 weeks between the line coming out in the game. Are you trying to find ways to really maximize your profits and middle some bets, or is that essentially a risky business?
It's risky, and it's gotten harder and harder. I mean, so many different sports books, once they move, sometimes it's literally 5-10 seconds before everyone else is moving and following them. So you got to know who the followers, who the makers are and who the followers are. But, once in a while, I do it a lot in UFC. There's a wide disparity in the odds there sometimes. And, just with 584 prop bets, you can find 10, 15 really good bets.
All right. First off, level of interest in the game, not just personally, but from your clients. The same, better, or worse than a normal Super Bowl?
I think much more. So the average person's going to bet 2, 3, 5 times their normal amount. That's just the way it is. I rate my selections from 10 to 50 units. I've given out a bunch of 20 and 25 unit plays. This game's a 35 unit play for me. I like Seattle. I think that New England, although much improved and a good team, we might look back and say, you know what? After this Super Bowl, they were another Chicago Bears. They just weren't that good and weren't there yet. I think they're a year away. Great for them to get here, but they had an easy schedule, and then to get to play Denver and the AFC Conference Championship game without their quarterback made it a lot easier. So there are some things that really concern me with New England. That's why I'm so strongly here on the Seahawks. Drake May, shoulder. Don't think he's 100%. And let's say he throws an interception or two, I think they're in trouble. And I think Ramondre Stevenson's due for a fumble. I mean, earlier in his career and earlier in the year, he was fumbling like crazy. And Trevion Henderson pretty much took over. And now they've gone back to Stevenson. He's probably due for a fumble. And I think when you look at football, it's about explosive plays. Not many teams can go 12, 14, 15 plays down the field and score without penalties, interceptions, and fumbles. And without Henderson playing much, I just don't see it in this New England team. So I think Sam Darnold, when the green light comes on for quarterbacks, I'm usually buying. I like Seattle, 27-16. I think they're going to be the first team laying more than 4 points to win and cover since, ironically, the Indianapolis Colts over the Chicago Bears in Miami.
All right. And I get all of the reasons behind it. Is there anything that you've seen? And I've had the time this week, Lee, obviously, and, I've watched some different things. One of the things that I had seen is the way that the Patriots are able to disguise a rush and do some different things with their defensive front and blitzes to trick quarterbacks. To me, that's everything. If New England's going to win, they've got to turn Sam Darnold into the guy that played the last regular season game last year and the playoff game last year, and maybe the game that he lost, and even though it was close, against the Rams when he had a bunch of turnovers. Do you see any way for New England to turn Sam Darnold into the guy that he's not been here these past few weeks?
Yeah, I mean, had one horrible game this year, threw 4 interceptions. I mean, he just was totally out of it mentally. He checked out. It was like the Carson Beck performance against Louisville. So, and they still almost won the game, believe it or not, on like a 61-yard field goal. I think the chances are small. Now, we could see it. If you want to play the total, play the under in the first half. I think both teams will be, trying to feel themselves out. So you're looking at the total first half under. I think that New England's probably got to have a lead by a touchdown or greater to win the game going into halftime.
Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, ParamountSports.com, 800-400-9741. Remember, right now it's Seahawks by 4.5. Lee thinks Seattle wins and covers. Over under of 45.5. The score he gave us is a slight under. Total of 43, 27-16. That would be a Seahawks win, cover, and the under. All right. Let's get to it now. All right. The anthem. Yep. Here we go. Okay. We can get into all the other prop bets, but this is what people are waiting for. Our audience is going to drop by half in 3 minutes. Okay. This is it. Your daughter's 10-0-1 on the last 11 anthems. We count her as 11-0. Reba did her wrong. Okay. What's she saying?
She loves it. And she called me and she goes, okay, Charlie Puth is singing the national anthem. I'm like, great. What does he normally sing it at? She goes, he's never sang the national anthem before. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, nope. I said, well, then why are you so positive? And she goes, well, he did an interview a couple weeks ago with Ryan Seacrest, and he revealed a couple things. He's a singer, composer, songwriter. He's going to be accompanied by a choir and an orchestra. And he, in the interview, talked about how seriously he took it. And this is not going to be some quick run-through job in a minute 48, minute 55 here. I think she feels he's very strongly going to go over. It's a minute 59.5 right now, just a shade under 2 minutes. She thinks it's going to be a 2:10, 2:15-minute national anthem, unlike the last two. The first 9 she handicapped were easy overs and unders. Last 2, remember, Reba McEntire repeated the last line. That made it go over. And then last year, John Batiste, he ended up going a half a second to have 1 second under. Yeah. So she feels this one's a clear over and got a strong conviction about it. So bet it now. And she feels good about it.
Little upset because if I'm seeing this right, because as you were talking, I am logged on to the Hard Rock app and I do not see the anthem bet.
It's not available yet.
Of the anthem maybe it will be before the game, but because I wanted to get it now. I'm not wasting any time with this. This is important stuff here. It's the national anthem. All right, Lee, lots of props out there. I was just asking David, is there any odds that you like? Because obviously the MVP is typically the quarterback.
Right.
And I think to me, if New England were to win, it's got to be Drake May MVP or a defensive player, and that's a long shot. But if Seattle wins, is there a good value bet in your estimation that's not Sam Darnold?
Probably Kenneth Walker, because he's going to play almost the whole game. And if he gains, let's say, 130, 150 yards and scores a couple touchdowns, he would be the guy. Even Jackson Smith and Jigba, if JSN, if he catches 8 for 150, they're going to give it to Darnold. So let's just be honest. I think it's gone back like 20-something years since they've had a running back. But if you want to take a shot, Kenneth Walker, probably the guy. A couple others I like. I like for and against a couple receivers. Cooper Kupp, over 2.5 receptions for Seattle. Been using him more in the playoffs, and he knows how to read a lot of zone coverages, which New England will do. And 2.5, I think, is a little light. I have him projected at 3.4. Mac Hollins doesn't catch a whole lot of balls, but he's 6'4", 220. They're not going to run many flanker screens with him. Over 15.5 yards in the longest reception. He's a long strider. They send him down the field almost every time he's in there. And then an under, Stephon Diggs. I think he's lost a step. Now, he does have 4 and 5 receptions the last two playoff games, but I think he's lost a step, and I think he's going to see a bunch of man-to-man coverage and have some problems. So let's go with under Stephon Diggs, under 4.5 receptions.
All right. Whole bunch of prop bets. The anthem is an over. The anthem is an over, ladies and gentlemen. Do you bet the coin toss, by the way?
No, I think I did it once and won and quit. The worst one is, for me, I think if I'm like 0-4, 0-5, first touchdown. And I just stopped doing it. I'd rather do Kenneth Walker like anytime touchdown. So I think it's a little bit better.
Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, ParamountSports.com. He does a lot more than just football, does the basketball. Big on UFC, has been for a handful of years now, and is excellent at it. Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, ParamountSports.com, 800-400-9741. Hey, enjoy the Super Bowl. You cooking?
No, bringing in. I'm not a cooker. My wife's the griller.
Okay.
All right. All right.
We're going Mexican tacos. She makes mean tacos.
Can't go wrong with tacos for the Super Bowl. I love it, Lee.
Go to the well. Thanks, Lee. Be good.
Thanks for everything this year, buddy.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Talk to you soon.
Take care.
Lee
Be
Sterling
safe, guys.
of Paramount Sports, ParamountSports.com. All right. There you go. Daughter is confident. Confident.
Choir and orchestra. That does throw a wrench in it, because is it his first note? Is it his last note? I mean, that's my only trepidation with what he's talking about. And the bigger problem I have is it's not on the Hard Rock app. I mean, I literally had it open as soon as it was saying it to bet it. I mean, I was betting hockey last night, David. I was betting hockey.
And you won.
Yeah, I had a boost. I had a Trent Valley boost. So I took it for hockey, a little bet boost there, took the Lightning last night. They're just rolling right now. Man, there is a team that does not want this 3-week freeze to come, because they are playing the best hockey in the league, and it ain't close. And I mean, the Sabres are playing really well. Colorado's kind of hit a skid, but the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Bolts, man, they have it going on, and they've got so many players heading over to the Olympics. How will affect them after the break?
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise. On 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The The Floor Meisters, just keeping it
Your
real.
roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
This is Miller and Moulton.
By the way, have you seen the increase in the Friday night Fox college basketball ratings?
Well, I mean, we talked about it a little bit with Sparty. I don't know, but I mean, they're beating the Amazon Peacock games by a wide margin.
Right.
A wide margin.
College basketball has not been a good regular season rating sport in a long time, and apparently it's having a tremendous year.
I mean, and I don't think there's, I mean, yeah, there's some good players that are draftable, but I don't think that's the reason, if you know what I mean.
No,
I think it's just we don't have anything to watch. We watch sports. I think that's what it is, David.
And it's free.
Yeah.
You know, even though it's not, but you know what I mean. It's
No, but it's
not a
over the air
streaming
television.
service, right?
You know, I mean, and you think about it just in Florida, David, and to your point, you think about it in Florida, there are a lot of people that are in HOAs. A lot of their cable comes with their HOA, but it's just their basic cable. Like my mom does not add on anything to her. She pays for what she gets at her house, but she doesn't add on any channels. So she comes over to my house to watch anything that's on, you know, pay TV, if you will.
Right. Line's little too. It's like 2.5 tonight. So system play.
Is this the Johnny's UConn game?
UConn at the Garden.
Well, it's not a system play then, is it? Oh yeah, I guess that is the okay, yeah.
Well, no, because technically St. John's is ranked now, so it's not a system play.
So I will say Sanibel Captiva would have a big problem with Moffat because every time I order a glass of water from them, they bring me a straw for every glass. In my room right now, I think I keep putting them in a pile just because I've got nothing else to do. I've got about 35 straws. And that's after I was throwing them away for the first couple of days.
That's fantastic.
I keep telling because, you know, the daughter and I will take him and, you know, make the projectiles off the end. I told her when I see her, she's getting machine gun fire straws at her. By the way, I got to bring this. That's give me just a second here about the Super Bowl. When we come back, you'll like this one.
By the way, according to Hornung, he says the last 2 years the Hard Rock.
Yeah, I saw that. I like I know that, DC. I like just shooting the paper off them though as a projectile. That's more fun for me.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Pat Kirwan in a little more than an hour live from the West Coast. He's been on Radio Row all week. I'm sure he's attended a soiree or two while he's been out there. We'll get Pat's thoughts on the game, the Hall of Fame, and a few other things going on. We'll let Pat sleep in a little bit longer than normal. So he'll join us in about an hour and 15 minutes. Not at the top of the hour, but in about an hour and 15 minutes. And Josh Applebaum from VSIN at the top of the Diamond District bonus hour.
The Pelican Roofing of Florida text line is open. The number is 21,000. The keyword is Miller. If you've never texted the show before, a lot of you chiming in. Most everybody on Seattle, I get it. Great comment here by one of our listeners, David, who says Cooper Kupp could be the only non-quarterback to win the Super Bowl MVP twice. What do you think about that? Now, I don't think it'll happen, but that's some heady stuff right there. I mean,
that would be something.
Really would.
Yeah.
And then just some other people voting for who they think would be MVP if it's not a quarterback. But David, we have talked about this kind of in and around the Super Bowl for nearly 20 years, you and I, about having the Monday off after the Super Bowl. And, should the Monday off be a holiday? And I believe even President Trump brought it up recently. But the other thing we've talked about a lot is how much school kids get off, David, and the half day.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out yesterday because I've been, I talked to my daughter since I've been in the hospital here 3 times a day. I talk to her in the morning before the show. I talk to her when she gets out of school, and I talk to her before she goes to bed. Little FaceTime every day, 3 times a day. But I did not know until yesterday that my daughter does not have school on Monday. And the reason that she does not have school on Monday is because the principal at her school is a huge football fan. And he makes the decision to not have school on the day after the Super Bowl.
Private school.
Yes, it is. And one, first off, sir, I don't know if you're a listener. I'm if you're not, I'm a little bothered this morning. I'm not going to lie. But my daughter knows the principal. I said to my daughter, I said, I've never done this.
No.
I said, does he know your dad does a radio show, a sports talk radio show? This could get you in good graces. So they've got Monday off next week.
Wow.
Then they get President's Day off the following week.
Right.
And I think they don't go to school but one Monday in the month of February. It's the 4-day work week. So I was incredibly impressed by the principal at my daughter's school, who apparently is a big enough football fan that he throws his clout around to have the day after the Super Bowl as a day off for students. That's amazing. What a job by him.
Don't you think if he ever interviews for another job that's the tiebreaker, that you hold that in the interview process and you say, by the way, when you make me principal, we don't have school the day after the Super Bowl. Just so you know, if you can read the hiring committee properly, that could be the tiebreaker, or something that you don't say out loud, one or the other.
Well, put it this way. He's never going to work in the public sector, David.
No doubt about it. No, he's a private school guy forever.
That's it. And, he can stay where he is. I love what my daughter's been doing in school and everything there. So he can just stay where he's at least for me, for 3 more years. She's in 6th grade, David. We get past 8th grade. I don't care anymore after that.
I like that, though. Wow. No school of mine goes to school the day after the Super Bowl. Damn it. We watch our football. We eat a ton. We belch. We go to bed when we go to bed, and we just chill out the next day and get over the depression that we don't have football for 200 plus days.
David, will your wife watch the game at all with you, or will she come out for halftime, or are you solo mio for the game? I mean, is it just you, your whatever beverage, your soda, whatever you're going to do, a bag of chips, What is your setup? Because you've worked Super Bowls now, so you've done this in a working capacity, but not very often. So what is your Super Bowl setup now that you are, obviously you've got people living with you, but I don't think I can't imagine that the son-in-law, daughter, and grandkids are going to be over.
Well, they're not invited. All right. Let's just get that straight right now. Okay. I mean, there's 364 other days. Okay.
Would you invite him by himself? You like him. He's a sports fan. Would you watch the game on the couch with him?
He is a big Green Bay Packers fan. I think I would be tempted to watch the Super Bowl with someone who's going to live and die with every play, because obviously I'm not. So maybe if that happens, in
but a neutral
years,
Super Bowl, he's not invited. Like this
no
year,
one's invited, Mark. No one's invited. The wife is not invited. The wife may crash the living room. She may sit down and say, "Hey, how's it going?" No one is invited to the Super Bowl party. It's my party and I watch it alone. Watch it alone. Get out of my face. Get out of my space. It's the Super Bowl. This is all I have for 30 weeks. Get out. Get out.
Because this will be my first ever Super Bowl alone. My wife has occasionally gone off to bed in the fourth quarter. She's had it, she's tired, and she's done.
Right.
But she usually watches with me. The daughter will watch the first half through halftime. Obviously, I'm here. I'm in basic isolation. So I will be watching alone. I've never done that before.
Mm-hmm. I watch the golf until 6 Eastern, unless it's, dreadfully boring and there's no drama and what have you. But I watch the golf. I don't watch the pregame. Not interested. But I am interested about 5:45 or so, which is kind of like, all right, okay. They're all going to, they'll make their picks. All right, let's just see who's picking who. And, then there's some of the pageantry before the game. Okay. I mean, it's the only time that the NFL, I think, rivals a huge college game in terms of the pageantry with the Super Bowl. And I do want to see what each network, this is kind of the, TV geek in me. I do want to see the little open that they put together. Okay. How far back do they go? They're just curious. What angles are they going to take? Put their little 2-3 minute thing together, which they submit for an Emmy. All right, I'm in. I'll watch. Okay, but no, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Don't text me either. Please don't text me unless I'm texting you. Leave me alone.
I've got to be really honest, everyone. That right there sounded like a challenge or a threat to me.
No.
And no. I will take it as such.
No. Well, first off, obviously, you're in a different category this year. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want. Okay. And besides, we're texting back and forth, and we're basically doing a pre-show before the next day's show. So, you're in your own category for a variety of reasons.
All right. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. That means a lot.
But even my best friend, okay, leave me alone. 3.5 hours. Leave me alone.
That's Miller and Moulton, everyone. David Moulton, how he watches the Super Bowl. Friends and family, be damned. Leave me alone.
I've got enough of them year round, even though I don't. But not today. No. No. Better be an emergency, seriously. And I mean an emergency. Okay? Water heater breaks or something. That's not an emergency. Suck it up. Okay? I mean, seriously. There's got to be a hospital visit involved. Otherwise, please don't bother me.
So call 911 first, text me after is what you're saying?
Yeah, let me know from the hospital what's gone on for the last couple hours. There's no need to call me as it's happening. I'm not coming to the rescue. Leave me alone.
Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
Got a cracked window or foggy glass? Don't wait for the next storm to make it worse. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business is just down the road and ready to help. From leaky frames to shattered panes, we've got the tools and the know-how to get your home or business storm ready. With flexible scheduling and our done right promise, you'll be in good hands. So before or after the weather hits, call your neighbors at Glass Doctor.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor. We fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
Hey, football fans, Jimmy the Beef Guy here. This is coming up fast. Wait, did you just beat me? You mean I can't say soup? Whatever. So, guys, if you're having a football party, don't wait till last minute. Remember, guys, our beef packages come with the beef, the gravy, the bread, the peppers. All you have to do is heat and serve. So call me now or stop in one of our 2 locations in Bonita Springs or Fort Myers. And again, guys, please don't wait till last minute, man. Put your orders in now.
This is Miller and Moulton.
So, Aurora, when I was growing up, and I'm talking probably preteen, my mother said that she made the mistake of getting me a microphone as a soap on a rope. And so when I first started taking showers, I used to do imaginary play-by-play of games. But then when I was really into it, I would do the anthem right before the game. Into the soap microphone. And my mother said one time they're having company in the living room, and all of a sudden I'm taking a shower, and we lived in apartments, and there's not a lot of room. And right behind the main living room wall was the bathroom. And apparently I was belting away.
That is really funny, David, because 2 things that I can equal that with. My grandfather, and you know this, wrote for the Saginaw paper forever. There is an article of me and my mother at the grocery store when I am apparently doing play-by-play of us losing the race because my mom stopped to get, like a jar of pickles or whatever.
Right.
I'm doing the Indy 500 going down the aisles.
Fantastic.
And the other one, we moved into our house when I was 3 or 4 because we were in an apartment before that as well. We moved into our small house, and I got the neighbor kids over to play baseball in the backyard. And well, what do you do before the baseball game? You sing the national anthem.
Yeah.
And my mother looks out, and I've got all these kids who are older than me. I'm the youngest one by several years, and everybody's in the backyard singing the national anthem with me before we played.
There you go.
Bud Ice, Aurora? Wow. All right.
Are we to conclude you were a Melrose Place girl? I mean, there's a lot of conclusions we can come with that beer choice, Aurora. So my buddy says that the best slogan of the week is still Ass Swab Wednesday.
Yes.
Okay. But he said, I do think we could have t-shirts that just say, leave me alone. I, of course, responded and said, you leave a person alone after Ass Swab Wednesday. So he's been paying attention all week.
I thought I buckled you when I said that.
I told Julie about it, and Julie just goes, TMI. Okay. TMI.
People are going to ask if I missed anything about the hospital. I'm going to say Ass Swab Wednesday.
Boom.
$8:30, second mixed doubles match of the day. Chechnya, U.S. Or Chechnya, rather.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Pat Kirwan joins us 1 hour from now. 1 hour from now, Pat Kirwan joins us here on Miller and Moulton. The Diamond District bonus hour will include Josh Applebaum of VSIN to give us his thoughts on some prop bets and some of what you may want to do with your money if, in fact, you are going to do something with your money or you're just going to watch the game. We got a bunch of poll questions involving the game, from snacks to who you think is going to win, that sort of deal. So, MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Make sure you go vote. By the way, we had a big response to our poll question yesterday.
Yes, an overwhelming response.
Oh, but also a big response. I mean, usually, first, and we've talked about this, we get bigger responses when we go non-sports than when we go sports with our questions. But for this time of year and what have you, it was a big response, and it was obviously a sports question. It was the Penn State hockey player who decked the kid who was heckling his mom, called her a whore. And so he punched the kid. Apparently now details emerging. He punched him twice, broke his jaw and put the kid in the hospital. And so he's facing a felony aggravated assault charge, which, by the way, you could do 20 years in
20 years.
You
Right.
could do 20 years. All right. I love the fact, by the way, it's 20 years and a $25,000 fine. I'd go, don't you think that's a little excessive? I mean, 20 years is enough. We have to hit the pocketbook for the people they leave behind. Come on now.
And the sports world is overwhelmingly on the side of one Gavin McKenna.
Yes.
I did not know a lot of these things yesterday because I knew who he was. I knew he was Canadian. I didn't know where he was from. He's Western Canadian. He's from like the Yukon Territories or whatever. First kid ever drafted that high into the Western Hockey League from that. I mean, so there's a lot of remarkable things about this young man from a hockey standpoint. We'll just leave the other side. But David, you know me pretty well, and you know what I like in a hockey player.
Mm-hmm.
My team would have a lot of Western Canadians on it.
No doubt.
I love Western Canadian hockey players. They're tougher. They just are. Sorry, American kid. Sorry, Ontario kid. Sorry, European. And sorry, anybody from Quebec. Give me the Western kids. I'll take them every day. And guy called his mom a whore.
Yeah. So, as Al Davis once said, he must go down, and he must go down hard.
Right. He's captain material. Like, that's what he proved to me yesterday. He can wear this, Connor McDavid got the C in Edmonton at a very young age.
Uh-huh.
Steve Yzerman, one of my hockey heroes, got the C in Detroit at a very young age. In that sport, it means a lot to wear the C. It means everything. This kid's a captain. This kid's a leader. In the game against Michigan State, one of his players got cheap shotted. He went over, and I think he got tossed. I think he got in a fight because you can't fight in college hockey. He went and protected his teammate. This is a guy you want on your team.
He was projected before the hockey season to be the first overall pick. He's fallen as far as 4th overall, but he's facing a felony and a misdemeanor. And I love the Penn State Athletic Department's response. It's the typical, we're aware of what's going on. But, because the matter is still under investigation, all right, we are not going to have any comment at this time.
Now, what I do wonder, David, this kind of spreads away from just college hockey, obviously, but college sports. The BYU coach, not very happy that the Oklahoma State student section was chanting F the Mormons.
Right.
Classless.
Yes, totally.
Apparently there was something at the end of was it a Toledo Bowling Green basketball game? It was Toledo and somebody, in which the Toledo coach said, I would never allow my players to act that way.
Correct.
This can lead to a lot of ugliness. College hockey fans are a rowdy bunch.
Yes, they are.
And a lot of the time it is great fun, particularly in the Northeast. The Clarksons and the Cornells, and these schools have great chants and great fun things that go on at collegiate games. Certainly in Wisconsin and Minnesota. Great stuff. Michigan Tech in Northern Michigan. We could go on. David and I could go on and on about how great we think college hockey is every damn day on this show.
Love it.
I hope, but I am not hopeful that when he continues to play and heads to, whether it's Ann Arbor or East Lansing or wherever, and particularly East Lansing, because, I know my alma mater, that chants don't come up calling his mother names.
Yeah, I hope not either.
But I'm very fearful that it could happen.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This is where the home coach may need to go grab the microphone.
What was it, Sam Weich?
Yep. You don't live in Cleveland. You live in Cincinnati. Yep. Golly. Yep.
So that's kind of where my mind went with this yesterday.
But what, 89% of our audience supported his actions?
Correct. Would not affect his draft status one bit to nearly 90% of our audience.
Nope. Listen, I answered it and said, you know what would have affected his draft status? If he didn't deck the guy. That would have really bothered me. I would have wondered, can I have this guy on my team? Can you win a cup with a guy who won't protect the honor of his mom?
And the other side, there's still details coming out of this. We don't know everything. We think we know a lot, but we don't know everything. But from the sounds of it, this was a private party for the hockey team that these drunks kind of crashed and then were chased out, from the way I gather it. And, we'll get more information. There's apparently video of it from, street cams and things of the like. So I imagine the kid who got punched is going to get a pretty good check.
Oh, I'm sure.
His college tuition's now free.
Yeah, I think, in fact, he could probably be set up pretty well with his first apartment or what have you. I mean, who knows? Could probably buy a condo or a duplex or something. I mean, I'm sure he'll be fine. And the jaw will heal.
Enjoy enjoy eating through the straw for a couple of months, young
For the
man.
next
Maybe
few
you should
weeks.
maybe you
Yep.
should learn to shut your damn mouth when you're drinking,
Now,
particularly at someone's mother.
what I want to find out is, though, I want to find out who the guy is who did the chanting, because there are rumors out there that the guy is like a minor league hockey player. So I want to find out if that's true.
That would be embarrassing.
Yes, it
For him.
would. Uh-huh.
But I did laugh because in the race to get information, and I don't like to bash any one source, but I'm going to here. The Athletic, I get my breaking notification for the Athletic on this, and they had nothing. They had no new information. They didn't even have the fact that this kid heckled. They just had a police report, of which at that point was 24 hours old.
Right.
Like, thanks, guys.
And the report got updated. Come on, boys. What are you doing? What are you doing now?
So big vote. I do have to put, if you can have one snack food item, if you can only can have one, what is it? And I started with wings. I'm torn here because I am limited with my food items. I'm going to be going pizza and chips. That's my Super Bowl.
If I could only have one food item, it would have to be a couple of bags of the big Fritos, where I can have cheese that I, put 3/4 of a bag, use it and just dip the cheese, where I can have dip of some kind.
Well, chips and dip is one item to me. I'm sorry.
Right,
For a
but
Super
that's-
Bowl, one does not go without the other.
But that's what I would do. But I would go with the big, the largemouth bass Fritos chips, if you know what I mean.
You
That
and my
would be
wife
my-
on the Fritos. I'm not a Fritos guy.
Oh, that's
and,
okay.
and it's good for the wife because there are very few food items, snack items that she can have in the house and not have to worry about me taking it down when she's not in the room.
Well,
Fritos is very safe for her.
It's probably why she now likes them more than she did the first, however many years of her life before she met you.
It's a good point. It's a dadgum good point, David.
But we'll break down the game coming up. I haven't changed my thoughts at all. I've tried. I've really tried. And do I think New England can win? Of course they can win. I think there's a couple scenarios that they can win. But it would surprise me. Believe it or not, them winning with offense would surprise me more. Because I'm just trying to figure out, besides Drake May running, what is the one weapon that Seattle is not decently equipped to not stop, but just kind of keep in check? Like, to me, if there's a Patriots receiver that goes for 7 or more catches for $1 and more, that would really surprise me. I'd be like, damn, unless, 70 of the yards came on one play.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head, David. I really, there you go. They have to figure out a way to get chunk plays. And the only thing I will say, while this Seattle defense is good, and I am not at all trying to compare the New England offense to the Rams offense. The Rams had no problem moving the ball in them. None whatsoever.
You know why? Because they had 2 wide receivers they couldn't cover.
I know.
And that gets me back to, who is New England going to threaten the Seattle defense with, in which McDonald and the coordinator and everybody else goes, we got problems here. We got to adjust to this guy.
And I wonder if it's somehow with the backs catching the ball. That, to me, could be a scenario that they could take advantage of Seattle. Is the rookie safety healthy? Is that ankle going to have an effect on the game?
Well, listen, you have to isolate him early and go at him. okay, because he's going to play, and he said he's going to play, but you got to go right at him. Early in the game, you got to isolate him 1 or 2 times, and you got to go right at him and see how he moves. I mean, he got hurt in practice. It's a thing. Well, how hurt are you? And if you're a safety and you've lost half a step, well, we should be able to take advantage of that.
But I know who I'm going to pick. I'm not confident in my pick. It is merely to try to tie one David Moulton on our season-long picks. He's got me by 1 game heading into the Super Bowl. It's a tie or lose by 2 situation. I'm just trying to talk myself into it because when you match up units, David, there are not too many units that I believe that New England is better than Seattle.
People have pointed out Drake May's terrific against zone. Seattle plays a lot of zone. Once again, who does New England have if you're Seattle that you don't think you can cover man-to-man? I think you switch things up. Like Bud Elliott told us back in the college football playoffs that when Alabama faced Indiana, he said, Bama's a zone team. Indiana destroys zones. He goes, Bama's going to switch and they're going to play man-to-man. And they did. Now, they still got beat by 5 touchdowns. But he said it was the only chance they had. And how did Indiana beat them? They ran the ball for 260 yards. So, now when you go man, do you know who can really cause you problems, Mark? Drake May running the ball. That
guy, defensive backs have turned their back to the quarterback. That opens up big lanes. This kid can run.
Yes. So, in fact, if I was New England and I see that they're playing a lot of zone, I'm running some goes and some quarterback draws. Like, okay, fine. We can do this. No problem. So I love the chess match. I mean, New England with Vrabel defensively, McDonald, the defensive coach. I'm going to love the chess match here. Absolutely love it. And the one thing that we haven't talked about, Mark, I wonder if New England can get pressure on Darnold.
Well, I think they can. And I've alluded to that a couple of times. That's the key for the New England Patriots. What they do with their defensive front to try to confuse Sam Darnold.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Get ready, Southwest Florida. The Southwest Florida Ag Expo is back. Now's the time to save big with the Mega Pass. Your all-in-one ticket to the fun, one low price. Get your one-day admission and unlimited midway rides. Mega Passes available online through February 26th at swflagexpo.com. Don't wait. Grab yours. Get ready for roots, rides, and real fun. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
This is Miller and Moulton.
I think more Jerry than Bob Robes. I agree with you there. I have seen funny videos. They're out of these Boston bars. Is this a Seeger bar? And the guy goes into the bar and gets the bar to try to play a Bob Seger song and then gives them a sticker. I've been getting a kick out of it. I didn't realize this love of Bob Seger in the Boston area, but I've got a buddy who's also a Boston guy who's a huge Seger fan, and I never got it.
Oh.
So if I went with one snack food item, wings, chips, and dip, what else would I put up?
Pizza.
Pizza. Yeah. Pizza.
Nachos.
Well, do nachos count as chips?
I mean,
I think they do.
I think they're in the same category.
Same ballpark.
I did. Meatballs. What is Aikman coming?
Oh, I love the little meatballs in the crock pot sauce. Oh, those are good.
Yeah, I am not a fan of and those to me are like the sweet meatballs, and I hate them. I absolutely hate them. The crock pot meatball.
Wow.
That's funny, DC. You know what, Aurora? I don't know if it's really worth it, but I am putting cheese tray up for the fifth one just for one David Moulton.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Halfway home on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
The final one of the 2025 season, Super Bowl 60, Sunday. They keep saying 6:30. It's been kicking off later than that lately. 6:35, 38. But we'll see if NBC sticks to it. But NBC and Peacock, Tirico and Collinsworth, Seahawks 4.5-point favorites over the Patriots. Pat Kirwan to join us from the West Coast. He's been at Radio Row all week. We'll get Pat's thoughts on the game. Also about the Hall of Fame. Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, Adam Vinatieri. You don't have a problem with any of the four. I know you're not a big kickers in the hall guy, but if you're going to put a kicker, it's tough not to put that one, right?
I agree with that. And I'm not a kicker guy, but I don't have a problem with him getting in. He probably wouldn't have gotten my vote if I were in the room, but I don't have a problem with it.
So he had the game-winning kick in not one but two Super Bowls. You know, we all remember the first Patriots Super Bowl win over the Rams, but two Super Bowls later in Houston, he had the game-winning kick at the gun to beat Carolina. Then when he was with the Colts in their win over Chicago, he was not the reason they won, but he did kick 5 field goals. So he's just a tremendous, obviously the kick in the snow, the whole deal. I mean, you know, for most of his career, he was the most accurate kicker in league history. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. Brees, Fitzgerald, Kuechly, Vinatieri, and Roger Craig, the senior candidate, in. No Belichick, no Kraft, no Eli Manning, no Frank Gore. Okay. You were the one that said, get ready for next year. Buckle up, big fella. Okay. Of the 4 candidates that I mentioned that didn't get in, Belichick, Kraft, Eli, Frank Gore. I think you mentioned 4 names. I think 3 are, that is a Hall of Famer. Are we really debating this? Okay. You mentioned Adrian Peterson.
Right. That's a Hall of Famer.
You mentioned Ben Roethlisberger.
That's a Hall of Famer.
I believe so also. I think he was clearly the best quarterback of the 3 who came out of that draft. Ben, Philip, Eli. Rob Gronkowski.
That's a dunk.
I could make the case he's the greatest tight end of all time.
Yes, you could.
I really could. Because also, he blocked defensive ends. I mean, they put blocking schemes together where they assigned him defensive ends. Rob Gronkowski was a stud as a blocking tight end. And then he was a top 3 receiving tight end of all time also. Okay. I'm not so sure Richard Sherman's a Hall of Famer.
Okay.
And
all
you
right.
mentioned him, obviously. So I'm not going to include Sherman in this little game that we're going to play. Okay. So it's AP, Ben, Gronk. To me, they're the dunks.
They're no-brainers, aren't they? I mean, I'm sorry. They're no-brain Hall of Famers.
Well, I think so. I do. I think you've got some explaining to do if you don't vote for them.
So here's my first question with that.
Mm-hmm.
And you really led to it by saying, I think that Ben is the best in the Rivers, Eli, Roethlisberger category.
Mm-hmm.
If we believe, and we do, that Ben is going to get in, does that push Eli back another year? I don't think they'll go in together.
Well, that's just it. Are they going to put them in together? Or are they going to say to Eli, sorry, dude, backlog, we'll get to you?
I would vote B, backlog. I would. I mean, again, remember, here's the other thing that you've got to take into consideration when we're talking about the Hall. This is 2 years in a row, David, that only 4 of the 15 finalists have received enough votes to get in.
Right. There was
Roger Craig is the veterans. Roger Craig's the veterans guy. They could have put one more in. This is back-to-back years that 5 guys did not get enough votes to get into the Hall of Fame.
And you got to figure Frank Gore ain't getting in next year. How is he getting in over AP?
Correct.
Okay. So we've got Eli and Gore on the sidelines again. I mean, I know it's a separate committee, but I mean, Belichick gets the votes next year, right?
I would think so, but that's a separate vote.
Right. So if AP, Ben, and Gronk are in, once again, Mark, they ain't putting any of these wide receivers in. Reggie Wayne, Torrey Holt, they ain't putting any of them in. They're not moved by these guys at all.
Exactly.
Never mind the fact there are some very good offensive linemen who can't coming up short also. And when do they put one of those guys in?
I mean, Yanda, the Ravens guard, and I'm not an offensive lineman guy, but just hear me out here, because these stats, and I know it's not a stats-driven hall, but all-decade team, that's usually one of the things that you have to get into the hall. He was on the all-decade team.
First team or second team?
And it just says 2010's all-decade team.
Got it.
He made 7 all-pro teams, including 2 first-team spots. I mean, that's pretty heady stuff for a guy that played for 13 years in the league. I take an incomplete on this. I don't find myself to be as knowledgeable enough about offensive line play to tell you which lineman gets in and which lineman doesn't. But based on the resume, he has to be up there. And at what point do you, David, hurt the Hall of Fame's credibility if it's just specialty position players, if you know what I mean?
No, right. Offensive skill players. Right. By the way, Jason Witten has still been kept out of the Hall of Fame. A lot of people thought when he was a player that he was a Hall of Fame player. But you ain't going to put him in over Gronk. So he ain't getting in next year. We just said Frank Gore ain't getting in over Adrian Peterson. Oh, by the way, Marshall Yanda, as you mentioned, Terrell Suggs, and longtime tackle with the Bengals, Willie Anderson, they're all finalists next year. They advanced to the final cut down this year. They go straight to the final cut down next year. Think about that, by the way. The 2 wide receivers, Witten, Eli, Frank Gore, didn't make the final cut when they go from like 15 to 6. I mean, so there you have it. Now, it could just be a year, but then also, I mean, we're coming up on Brady, aren't we? Soon? I mean, 2022 was his last year, right? He's been out 3 years. So, we don't have to wait much longer for Tom.
Right. So just hear me out again. Ben gets in next year.
Right.
Eli doesn't. Well, Eli ain't getting in ahead of Tom Brady the following year.
No. Now, you wonder, though, since obviously Eli's greatest accomplishments was beating the Patriots in the 2 Super Bowls, do they, that would be kind of a bad joke at Tom's expense. He'd be like, really? It's my day to shine, and Eli's going to come up here and tell everybody how he beat me twice? Great. Thanks, guys.
By the way, how about the crap that Tom's getting?
Yes.
For not being a New England homer in this game. From his players, from the guys not from the fan base, but from his former teammates are PO'd at him.
Yeah, they're angry. Some are cursing publicly at him. Okay, enough already. Stop with the try. I'm a Fox guy. I don't have a dog in the fight. Blank that. You played here 20 years. You won 6 Super Bowls here. Okay. I mean, Tom's trying to make it sound like he's not even rooting for the Patriots.
Right. I'm the owner of the Raiders.
Right.
I work for Fox and I own the Raiders.
I mean,
I also had this little stint in Tampa, and it has honked off the Patriot players, not the fan.
No,
I mean, I've not heard the resentment because it's Tom. They love him.
Well, what can Tom do? I mean, come on.
Right.
For the fans? I mean, please. He could steal their wife and they'd be like, well, we haven't been happy for a while. Okay. I could kind of see this coming. I didn't know it was going to be TB12, but I get it. But yeah, I mean, my goodness. The guys are furious with him.
It's that great Jimmy Kimmel routine where he brings Brady over to Matt Damon's house and he throws the football through the window. And Damon walks out. And he goes, "Oh, Tom, how you doing? I just love you."
Right, exactly. Oh no, it's fine, Tom. It's fine. Everything you good? Everything going well? Kids? Good. Yep.
That's how the fan reacts. But the player, the Patriot player, is incensed about this. That one cracks me up.
Who's the player who gave him 24 hours? He better publicly come out in the next 24 hours, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Or let me tell you, it's going to be uncomfortable when we show up for some of the, alumni functions together. Whoa. Damn. I mean, think about it. They won 6 Super Bowls. I mean, seemingly you turn around, they can have a Super Bowl anniversary gathering. Next year will be 10 years for the 2016 team, So, anyway. Yeah, they're honked at him. I got to admit, I mean, come on. I mean, can he just say, listen, I'm a broadcaster now. I'm part owner of the Raiders. So, I'm a little different, but I'll always be a Patriot. Okay. I'm rooting for the Patriots. I'm rooting for the Patriots.
He should.
Right.
I mean, really and truly, I don't care that he owns the Raiders. I don't care that he won one with the Bucks.
Right.
I don't care about his TB12 supplement company.
Yes.
When you think of Tom Brady, all of us, when we think of Tom Brady, he's an effing Patriot. Okay.
Yes. I mean,
that's it.
Tell me he can't say, listen, I love Mr. Kraft. Okay. He's been so good to me. And of course, I would like to see my former team and Mr. Kraft win another Super Bowl.
I mean, comments like highly disappointed. It makes me sick. It's disgusting. These are players talking about Tom Brady.
My favorite was, it's bull crap.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Get ready, Southwest Florida. The Southwest Florida Ag Expo is back. Now's the time to save big with the Mega Pass, your all-in-one ticket to the fun, one low price. Get your one-day admission and unlimited midway rides. Mega Passes available online through February 26th at swflagexpo.com. Don't wait. Grab yours. Get ready for roots, rides, and real fun. Lee County,
building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Interesting, RCB. That's probably I mean, who else could you go to? I think, Gretz was rooting for Edmonton. I mean, there was no doubt that Gretzky was rooting for Edmonton against Florida. That's the greatest hockey player of all time. And even if you want to go Howe would always root for the Wings. You know that. Mess was rooting for Edmonton too. So both networks, the two, that's, by the way, Draisaitl threw the whole team under the bus the other day. Coaches, everybody, just buried everybody. Hooper, you got Jordan. Football, you got Brady. I mean, I don't know any. I mean, Bradshaw, he wouldn't root against the Steelers, even though he has his issues with them. I don't put Rodgers in that category, so I can't even include him.
I will say that is one of the most underreported stories I think of all time, is how Michael Jordan has had virtually nothing to do with the Bulls organization for 27 years. That is remarkable. He very rarely goes back for the hero's welcome, when they honor teams. I mean, it's remarkable to me.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Pat Kirwan, a little more than 15 minutes time. Top of the hour, the Diamond District bonus hour, Josh Applebaum of VSIN to talk some prop bets and a few other things. If you missed Lee Sterling much earlier in the show, his daughter says go over on the anthem. This guy's never sung it before, but she saw an interview that he did, and apparently he's bringing what, a band and an orchestra, or I don't know, but she goes, yeah, he ain't going under 2 minutes. He's going to go 2:10 plus. So she, she's 10-0-1 in her last 11 anthems, and the 0-1 was because Reba, doubled down at the end. And, so she should be 11-0 in her last 11 anthems.
All right. Couple of things that are off of the NFL that I wanted to get to. One is the Alabama basketball player,
right,
who played in the G League. And
right.
Think whatever you want about that. You all have your own opinions. Most of us don't like it. Neither here nor there. But did you see who else didn't like it?
Finally, what we've asked for from a commissioner in a conference. Finally, a commissioner took a side.
This Bedico kid, I think I'm saying that name right, Bedico, whatever, the big center that came back to Alabama, got the temporary restraining order, was allowed to play. The case is still going to court. Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the SEC, does not think he should be eligible to play. Think about that for a second. I think that's big news. I really do, David. Now, at the same time, did you catch the former UCLA player who has played 10 games in the NBA, who is trying to go back to college and play for Grand Canyon?
Yes. Yes, I have.
I don't think he'll be allowed because he did play in the NBA. The rules have been pretty simple here, but his precedent is they're letting European pros play. Why not let me? He would have been a senior in college this year.
And that is Nate Oates' argument, by the way. He's like, listen, if you don't want him to play, that's fine, but we need to get the European pros, the South American pros, the American pros. They all need to be on the same scale. Even if it's whatever it is, we all need to know. And his argument is the Euros are getting away. They're getting anything they want.
And I look, it's a valid argument. I don't like it, but it's a valid argument. It's hard to take what he says and say, well, you're wrong, because it's factual. A pro is a pro. And then the last one, this is a college football thing. And this one hits me a little closer to home because it's my son's alma mater. There are reports out there. If you have a child, you are aware of a person named Mr. Beast. He is a YouTube phenomenon. He gives away a ton of money. He is from Greenville, North Carolina, the home of East Carolina University. He has floated out there, and there is a lot of talk in Greenville. My son actually has two of his good friends who work for Mr. Beast in his accounting department. That Mr. Beast is talking about donating $100 million to the East Carolina football team. $100 million. LSU is paying somewhere around 36 to 40 million for their roster this year. David, we've wondered for a long time with what's going on in college football. And you and I have always done it on a much more local level. You were in Southwest Florida for many years, involved in FGCU. We know that the Naples-Fort Myers market has a lot of money. There are a lot of CEOs from Fortune 500 companies that have second or third homes in the Naples area. We always wondered, privately and aloud, would someone ever come up with the money to make them really good? Well, David, $100 million can make you really good really fast.
Sure can, Mark. Sure can.
And, probably too late for this season. But if that's floated out there for the 2027 season, and everybody knows you can go to Greenville, North Carolina, and get paid far more than you can get paid anywhere else with an attempt to win a national championship in college football, it may appall a lot of you that this is even going on. And I get it. I truly do. But I'm fascinated, David. I'm truly fascinated with what this could be.
Well, this is what's going on in Lubbock, Texas. This is what's going on at Texas Tech. Okay. One guy's turned into two, and they're bankrolling an athletic department. Remember the softball pitcher for $1 million? Took him to the championship series. How's the football team doing? Basketball program was good before the money showed up. Well, staying good. Okay. My question to you, Mark, is what does East Carolina get? They buy a top 10 team in the country. They make the playoff. What is it going to do for East Carolina? Is it going to get them out of the American? Because to me, if I can get my way in the ACC, if I can put a 3-year run together, 27, 28, 29, and you guys want us, then write the check and let's go.
That's fascinating, David, because I didn't think of it that way. I thought of the $100 million, whether they're in the American. I said, do you go independent? Do you just try to think that sometime in the 2030s, college football is breaking away? And what you're doing is you're making sure you're on that list.
Yeah, I would stay in the American for this reason. Don't laugh. Scheduling's really hard as an independent. Ask Connecticut. So I would just stay and win it and get my berth. Remember, it's right there. Best group of 16 doesn't even have to be a conference champion. Best group of 16 gets an automatic spot. Great. That's going to be us. Line them up. Let's go.
$100 million.
But what do you get out of this? Okay. I mean, because a couple of banners are great and we talk about it and then the whole deal. But seriously, is there an end game to this? Can we do something that takes the university, like, remember how you used to achieve a certain level of success and you earned your way into a power conference? Okay. That's what I want to know. Can this get me into the ACC? Because we think they're going to lose. I think North Carolina is going to the Big Ten. I don't know when, but I think it's happening in the next 10 years. Okay. And I'm just wondering, can this get me in the ACC?
It's funny, David. I don't know if it could get you in the ACC. I think it might have a better shot of getting you into the Big 12. And I'm not joking when I say that. They want to expand footprints. The ACC's hoity with their academic standards and have always been. East Carolina ain't North Carolina, if you know what I mean.
No, I know that.
There's a reason my son went there.
I don't know.
That was a shot. That was mean.
It was, but he's your son. You paid for it, by the way. You paid for that shot.
You're damn right I did. I got the T-shirt to show for it.
You're darn right you do. So I hope you got more than one, by the way. I mean,
a couple. Yeah, I've got, I could go for a week with ECU stuff.
I was going to say, I think you have to have at least one outfit per day for a year that your kid was at the school that you paid for. So whether that's 4 or 5, that's how many items I think you need. But anyway, see, to me, the Big 12 is not good enough. I don't know if the region there is going to take it. That's sexy enough. That's ACC country. Okay. That's what I'm interested in if I'm East Carolina. If I win a national championship, you're going to bring me into the conference? Oh,
well, and they, while they think they're rivals with other schools there, the school they don't like is NC State. And if they did this before NC State and could Heisman the Wolfpack, that would be something. Pat Kirwan to talk the Super Bowl next.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Got a cracked window or foggy glass? Don't wait for the next storm to make it worse. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business is just down the road and ready to help. From leaky frames to shattered panes, we've got the tools and the know-how to get your home or business storm ready. With flexible scheduling and our done right promise, you'll be in good hands. So before or after the weather hits, call your neighbors at Glass Doctor.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor. We fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, Mark. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good.
You sound great.
Thank you.
Now, do you have nurses, doctors, and patients paying attention to the show now?
Pat, it is so funny. Yesterday, the nurse practitioner comes in, and she was just kind of asking how I'm doing. I said, well, it's good. I go, it's kind of, I do my show, and then about 10, everybody starts coming in. It seems like that's when everything starts. And she stopped me, and she said, Mark, the entire floor is aware you're doing a show, and we leave you alone until 10.
That's great. Yeah, rewriting the book on where you can do a radio show from.
Damn right.
I love it.
Damn right. So we'll see what next week's like. My transplant's today, so I'm gonna not feel as good next week as I do now, but we'll see.
Yeah, you sound great. So I've been listening for the last 20 minutes or so. Get my voice going.
You flying back tonight?
Midnight, 11:59, which means 12:05. So,
You going to Florida or Northeast?
yes, no, straight to Florida. I'm not going back to the Northeast now until May, barring some family event that I have to go to or something.
I'm going to take the over on a hockey tournament or a week of practice that you have to drive to.
There you go. That will probably happen. But when May comes, I think it's May 1st is one of Ryan Vessey's deals with the older guys. And then I think it's June 5th or 6th, I got to come back with the two younger guys. So I know I'm going to come back to Vessey's thing twice. So actually, the first one, I'm going to fly him down. I'll be already here. I'm not going back to get him. So 30, 38. Okay, I'm just keeping a tab. I've done 43 interviews since I got to San Francisco. I got 12 today.
Dang.
55 total interviews. And the funniest of them all was Bo Jackson. He was Men's Health, and he was really letting it fly.
I heard a clip of his on Dan Patrick that I had never heard him talk about, because Patrick asked him his welcome to the NFL moment, and he said he got hit hard back of the head, and he went to the bench, and he fumbled, he fell on the ball, and he went to the bench, And he got to the bench, and someone goes, MF for wrong side. He went to the wrong bench.
Yeah. Oh, God. Well, before he went on the air, we did talk about me turning in his card.
I was going to say, you turned in the card for Bo Jackson for Tampa Bay.
Yeah. And I told him, I said, you have a right to know my conversation with the man on the other end, which happened to be John Gruden's father, Jim. And I said, Jim, I just heard him say, don't draft me, Tampa Bay, because I'm never going to sign with you. And I said, we ought to take someone else. And Bo was laughing yesterday. He goes, I didn't know that. I go, yeah, I told him. He said, well, I was going to make $7 million if I let them, sign me. And he goes, and I decided, screw these guys. And it was fun hearing his version of it, but he was laughing at mine. I go, I just kept telling Jim, let's not draft the guy. And Jim's answer was, he's the best player in the world. We're going to draft him and use the 7 months to try to sign him. Oh, we had a good time with that stuff, but his language was hysterical. Thank God he was on Sirius Radio. There were F-bombs, everything, you name it. He's talking about his prostate cancer, and he says, man, they got so much stuff out there 10 times more powerful than Viagra. He goes, I'm good. People were laughing hysterically. I know not a lot of people hear Bo Jackson or his style. McNabb was great yesterday. He was in a talking mood. Urlacher was going on after him, and basically was standing there like, tell him he's going to kill him.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Josh Applebaum of VSIN will join us then. But Pat Kirwan, kind enough to join us now. We woke him up. He's on the West Coast. He's been at Radio Row all week for Sirius XM. He joins us once again courtesy of Pinchers, Tampa to Key West, all points in between. Pinchers, where you can't fake fresh. How's your week gone?
Very good. We had a little trouble getting here from the last stop at the Senior Bowl, but we got here in time for the grand opening affair and got a chance to sit down with both head coaches and a lot of the best players. And then we just started this crazy routine each day. So I was just saying to Mark, by the time I get done at 4 o'clock West Coast time today, I will have interviewed 55 people at the Super Bowl. And it's been fun, and they're always in a good mood. And some great combinations. Donovan McNabb followed by Brian Urlacher was one of the great combinations. Cooper DeJean looks like he's 15 years old. I just cannot believe what a great player he is. When you talk to him, it's like, I swear to God, my grandson looks older than him. But anyway, it was fun. It's been terrific. And Colston Loveland, as apparently, which I of course didn't know until now, he was the matinee idol of the NFL. And my mother doesn't like it either. She's kind of mad that it's turning into that, but so it was fun with him. But lots of good things.
All right, Pat, let's talk Hall of Fame here just quickly, because we put 4 in last night. This is 2 years in a row, and I'm going to put Roger Craig and Belichick and all that to the side. Just talk about the finalists. We're only getting 4 guys in when they could put 5 in. It seems that we're missing players. Like Frank Gore didn't get in. We went through next year with Ben and Peterson and
Gronk
that are automatics. Pat, why are we not voting 5 players in? Are you okay with it as well?
No, not okay with it. We've gone over this in years past, but we're kind of under the same framework that we were when we had 28 teams. We've got a lot more players that play well, and they play well for a long period of time. They're not going to do this, but I am in favor of another makeup class. And I think that would help alleviate some of the problems, especially with the retired older guys that keep getting rejected. And then these pushbacks, like just even the Belichick thing, this is for a second. Last year, I was on the committee. We voted for Mike Holmgren to go, and he didn't even make it to the final ballot. So I think they've got a lot of issues that have to be cleaned up, and I'm not okay with 4. In fact, I'm not okay with 5, to tell you the truth. And I don't want to hear from these people at once say, well, you're watering it down. No, there's a lot more guys playing football, and we don't really take that into account to my satisfaction.
Well, yeah, because now we think Belichick will get in next year, and that means that it's another year wait minimum for Mike Shanahan, Mike Holmgren, Tom Coughlin, never mind the late Marty Schottenheimer, the late Dan Reeves. I mean, the coaches are really starting to backlog as well. Listen, we know what Radio Row's like. It's a lot of talking about past Super Bowls and guys and how their seasons went this year. But I'm curious this week, have you heard anything that has changed your opinion about this game?
Well, the old guys, like Bo Jackson was on with us. He was interesting. He doesn't even watch football. And he said he tried to enjoy it, but he stopped doing it, and he doesn't watch it all because he's fed up with, and he wasn't alone on this, he's fed up with the celebrating for things you were paid to do. Those were his words. You make a tackle and you're up doing something. And he said it's been going on for a long time, but now it's out of control. So he's lost the fun of the game. And young players don't get it. They think they're branding themselves, which frustrated him as well. I talked to Barry Sanders today. We all know Barry was one of those guys not to celebrate. So that team kind of came out from the older guys that, what are you doing here? And they do enjoy the players that have what they would call old values. Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner was the Walter Payton Man of the Year, and he doesn't do anything. He just has 100 tackles or more every year. They kind of like those kind of guys, so they've separated the players into 2 groups, ones that celebrate too much and ones that are humble and respect the game and respect. And they also said, we think celebrating in the middle of a game is insulting to the player you might have beaten to make the play. So they don't like any of that stuff. That was loud and clear along the way. So I do think that what came across was a lot of guys, and you guys might feel the same way I do, that it's fun to have 2 teams that no one thought were going start of the year, New England and Seattle. Some thought Seattle, but in general, they were not the popular picks, and they like the team structure of these teams. And I, of course, I get guys to tell me how much they love that 2 defensive coaches are in there. But that was refreshing to hear them think like these teams are here because they're built teams, and they're not really superstar laden. And it was fun to hear that kind of stuff.
Well, Pat, I know you said it right off the hop. You like Seattle in this game, but what can Vrabel and the Patriot defense do to make Sam Darnold the guy that he was last year in the postseason? Because so far, Darnold's been terrific in this postseason, exceptional. What can the Patriots do, if at all, to stop that Sunday?
Well, they can. I don't think this game is going to be a blowout by any means. The problem for New England, it's not a problem. It's really a good thing. The last 5 weeks, they're giving up 88 yards a game rushing. And they know that there's no one behind Kenneth Walker. It's really shallow, to say the least, without Charbonnet here. So their attitude, I would think the way they were talking to me is, let's overplay the running back, Kenneth Walker, and force this game into the hands of Sam Darnold and get him to make some mistakes. So they know their path, and they know it's really eliminate Walker as an effective tool, which he's been tremendously effective. But they're giving up 88 yards a game on the ground for 5 weeks. So that's their plan as I see it.
Seahawks play a lot of zone. Drake May's terrific against zone. I don't think the Patriots have any weapons that the Seahawks can't cover man to man. Do you think McDonald changes things up?
No, I don't think so. I think he's very committed to who he is, how he plays. He likes that his defense See, because he gives up what you and I would call creativity to play fast. He loves his front four. He thinks the front four gets there enough. And if you really look at what they've done, which of course I do these kind of things because I got a whole week to talk about this, but pay attention to this part. The front four of Seattle, they have 39 sacks, just the front four guys, and 108 hits on the quarterback. And so he likes to rotate his front four. He's got 4 good guys that start, but he's got guys he think can come off the bench, so he doesn't feel like he has to blitz a lot. And he likes the athleticism of his guys on the back end. He always talks to me about how they can close on the ball. So it got him this far, and I don't think he's going to change very much at all.
Were the Rams simply able to move the ball against Seattle this year because their receivers are so good? And if not, do you see a way for the Patriots to be able to have a little electricity offensively?
Well, I would say that the Patriot receivers are not as good as the Ram receivers. Puka was a real problem for them and will always be a problem for them. Puka against zone, which, excuse my voice here, has done a great job against every team that plays zone. All I keep seeing is them running 15-yard dig routes, and the zone coverage is not able to handle that. As I said, Mike McDonald thinks he's going to be able to get to the quarterback. That's how he sees it. And why wouldn't he think that? This quarterback over there in New England has been sacked 62 times just in the wins. I asked Mike Vrabel about that, and Mike's attitude is, yeah, well, we didn't have as many negative yards as a lot of guys who were sacked that much. Many of our sacks was 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage as the quarterback was trying to escape. Fair point, but he never got the ball out of his hand 62 times. And I give the kid a lot of credit because apparently it doesn't bother him, because even when he was sacked 5 or more times, they were 5-1. How many kids in the second year of their career can handle being sacked that many times and not affect the game? They still win. So I think Mike McDonald thinks they can get after these guys. And I think this go right to David. He's looking at the left side of that Patriot line, figuring and this came loud and clear from people that played against Seattle. I talked to a lot of them. They said their stunt game up front is going to just destroy the left side of that line. He goes, they are so good at twist stunts and different kind of things. Third guy over on top of 2 on a slant, the pirate stunt we used to call it. He said they're going to make it hard over there. And if you do have to do that, then all of a sudden, New England's keeping people in to help the tackles, and that makes it easier to handle what's coming at you.
Well, I think the Patriots defensive line also has to win up front, which, the Rams defensive line made no impact against the Seahawks offensive line. So New England has to do something that the Rams, and they have a pretty good defensive front, made no impact doing. I think Gonzalez has to, not 100% of the time, but maybe 60+% of the time, I think he's got to follow JSN. Yeah, the other corner's good, but JSN's the best skill player on the field. I think New England's got to put their best corner on him.
I do too. And I don't think the corner will win. I like Gonzalez a lot, but Jackson is a different cat. That's why he was the offensive player of the year last night. I would think that it might be more than 60%, and I don't think that they're going to get a lot of success. I think he's going to have to get bracketed a little bit more, where there's 2 people involved on him to deal with stuff. That'll be my opinion of how that's going to go. But once you start going to those kind of things, then all of a sudden, Mr. Walker is springing a leak on you. So how do you play them first? I'll go back to the first thing I said. Stop Walker, put the ball back in the hands of Sam Darnold. Sam was an interesting conversation the other night. He was like, I complimented him on taking sacks and crossing the line of scrimmage for a 3-yard gain rather than throwing into traffic, which I said is significantly better. You're better because of that stuff. And he was proud of it, to tell you the truth. He was like, I know. I've learned how not to get rid of the ball in a panic and do something that's going to cause a turnover. So he hasn't thrown an interception in 89 passes. And when I said it to him, he said, I didn't know the number. I said, well, that's the number because I knew you were coming over here. And I counted them up. So I think when you have Sam playing safe, I think that's going to be enough to win.
You know, I've been messing around with the MVP. And to me, Pat, you know, obviously the quarterbacks are the best choices. But to me, I don't see how New England can win unless Drake May's the MVP.
I agree with that. I think he has to have an extraordinary performance. And we saw last week in Denver when I was out there that what he did to win the game was run. He's a very good athlete. And the snow and the weather conditions in the second half really limited all the things you could do in a game. If they get a lead, I'll say this, Mark. I think those two hammerheads they have in the backfield, Stevenson he had a big smile on his face when I brought up the 4-minute drill. He kind of lives for that moment. Vrabel said to me, he goes, I'll tell you what he's even better at than that. He's really good at picking up the blitz, but they're not going to see blitz. They're going to end up having to have him help out on some of maybe the Leonard Russell and those guys who beat the people in front of him. But so I think that you're right about Drake May, and he is going to play athletically, and that means some run. That might be a big-time deal. But when you're only rushing 4, I know David's talked about this. There's only a few teams in this league that can actually wake up the morning of any game and say, we don't have to blitz. And Seattle is one of them. So what does that mean? Does it mean they're going to be able to always keep an eye on Drake May? Yeah, I think they can. And I think they're going to try to think of, this is not spying Michael Vick or spying Lamar. This is spying a very good athlete and a runner, but I think you can actually spy him with linebackers, which I don't say at all when it comes to guys like Lamar.
He's Pat Kirwan, NFL Radio's Moving the Chains, CBS's NFL Today show. Pat joins us courtesy of Pinchers, Tampa to Key West, all points in between. Pinchers, where you can't fake fresh. Pat and all our guests joining us on the American Paint Supplies Hotline, your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. Well, save your voice. Have another terrific show. Safe travels, and we'll talk soon.
Very good, guys. Talk to you soon. Have a great day. Mark, you sound awesome. Keep it up.
Thanks, man.
Pat Kirwan joining us once again here on Miller and Moulton. Mark does sound awesome today. All right.
Big day today. Curling update coming up, David. Big mixed doubles match going on now. We'll have an update on the other side. Miller and Moulton.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best. Be Cape.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
At the Diamond District, we've built our inventory since day one.
We never pass on beautiful jewelry. For years, we've chosen exceptional diamonds and fine jewelry.
And when you buy with love for 2 decades,
your vault fills with extraordinary jewelry. That's why we're emptying the vault now through Valentine's Day. Enjoy rare pricing on jewelry chosen to celebrate love, connection, and commitment.
Will you be mine? Starts with diamonds from the Diamond District. Hablamos Español.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hey, football fans, Jimmy the Beef Guy here. This is coming up fast. Wait, did you just beat me? You mean I can't say soup? Whatever. So, guys, if you're having a football party, don't wait till last minute. Remember, guys, our beef packages come with the beef, the gravy, the bread, the peppers. All you have to do is heat and serve. So call me now or stop in one of our 2 locations in Bonita Springs or Fort Myers. And again, guys, please don't wait till last minute, man. Put your orders in now.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Big second end for the U.S. Big mistake by Czechia. They're already up 4 spit after 2.
It's big.
Thanks, Javier. Appreciate it. 2:00 today. Just found out. Did get a funny story from the nurse practitioner yesterday when talking about this. One of the doctors on this ward, her husband is a brain surgeon, and the brain surgeon will come back with, "It's not brain surgery," to her about things. And he even said, it's not brain surgery, but you are putting a new immune system in someone. It is pretty spectacular.
I was going to say, it's amazing.
Because what you're doing is pretty remarkable. That Jim Gaffigan thing about brain surgery is so damn funny.
Oh, my goodness.
Josh is ready to go.
Awesome. Thank you, Rick. Sonny, there will be no baseball next year. None. Unless Manfred and the owners cave. Agrees, Stova. Nice.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the fourth and final hour. We call it the bonus hour, the Diamond District bonus hour of Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. On this final Football Friday of the 2025 season, and talking all angles of the game. And that, of course, includes the betting angles of the game. Josh Applebaum is kind enough to join us. He with VSIN, VSIN, the Sports Betting Network, the first 24/7 broadcast network dedicated exclusively to sports betting. Follow Josh on X at Josh_insights. Josh_insights. Josh, it's David and Mark. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great, guys. Only 2 days away from the Super Bowl. I'm getting excited. How about you guys?
We are getting excited as well. It doesn't seem that it has that same buzz. And, teams that we weren't expecting, Seattle being a West Coast team. Do you feel the buzz for this game, or is it something that is going to be built up between now and Sunday at 6:30?
So historically, in terms of a betting perspective, and I come from it mostly from a betting lens, because that's my job, my industry, it may not feel like it's the greatest matchup of all time. There's no Mahomes. There's no, Jalen Hurts or the teams we've, historically seen the last few years. But I can tell you guys this. There was a report that came out the other day where the expected amount of money to be bet on this game is around $1.76 billion. So that would break the record for the most heavily bet sporting event of all time. Now, we've had these new records every single year, and since 2018, when the federal ban on sports betting known as PASPA was overturned, more legal states coming online, it just naturally gets bigger and bigger. So it may not be the sexiest matchup, but the bettors are sure excited about it. And in my industry, that's a good thing when you have these extremely heavily bet games where people want to get in on the fun. And at VSIN, we try to gear you toward making the smartest bet that you can.
Josh Applebaum of VSIN, the Sports Betting Network, the first 24/7 broadcast network dedicated exclusively to sports betting. Well, tell us some of the, whether it's prop bets or what have you, that has excited you, that when you saw them, you're like, yeah, I'm all over this. I have been telling my audience about this all week.
Yeah, so let's start with the biggest one here, just the spread, the point spread, which is the great equalizer when it comes to betting football. When you're talking like baseball and hockey, guys, usually it's the money line because it's a lower scoring sport. So a lot of games are, won or lost by one goal, one run. When you get to football, the margin of victory is greater. So instead of betting on who's going to win the game, the spread is the most popular bet type because it really garners the most betting interest. So right now the spread is Seattle -4.5. They're a 4.5 point favorite. That means if you want to bet Seattle, they got to win by 5 or more. You want to bet New England, they can either win the game or lose by 4 or less. Now, my play is Patriots +4.5. I'm a contrarian bettor, guys. That means I like to bet against the public. More often than not, the public's going to lose. The house always wins. And if you bet long enough, you realize the herd mentality, when everyone is betting one side, typically you want to be on the opposite side. So right now at VSIN.com, we get the bet splits, the percentage of bets and dollars from both DraftKings and Circa Sports out in Vegas. And nearly 70% of spread bets are going Seattle -4.5. So the public is heavy on the Seahawks here. Automatically, I want to bet against the masses and go with New England +4.5. But additionally, I look at historical betting systems as well. How do teams in this spot perform? And over the last 5 years, underdogs are 5-0 against the spread. You also look since 2004, Super Bowl dogs in general are 15-7 against the spread, 68%. If they're getting 3 points or more, they're 11-4 ATS, 73%. So the combination of, as a contrarian bettor, I want to go against the masses who are on Seattle and go with this historical spot where dogs have done well. That combination makes me take New England +4.5.
All right, the over-under on this game's kind of settled. Both the line and over-under haven't moved a lot. That's surprised us. I mean, David and I have been pretty good over the years at figuring out where a line is, where it's going to go. I thought this line would jump a little bit just based on what you talked about with the sheer numbers of bets on the Seahawks. But with the over-under, this is two good defensive teams. Unders are boring to a lot of people, but they win. When you look at the total, is there a lean that you have?
So I do lean under with you guys, just from a data standpoint, and that's where we focus on it at VSIN, try to take away your bias and really focus on what the numbers are telling us. And this total opened as high as 46.5, 46. It's down to 45.5. Some books are even juiced toward the under. That automatically tells me there's been some money coming in on the under. Also, when you look at the percentage of tickets, a majority of bettors are going over. Again, you're going to a Super Bowl party, you're having people over, you're going out to a bar. You want to root for points. You guys hit the nail on the head. It's more fun to root for points and taking over. But remember, the odds makers know that. They know the public is biased toward overs. So the fact that this total is dropping, I would lean under here. I would just caution it by saying with both spread and total, if you haven't bet the game yet, pay attention to the next 2 days, because these last 2 days, the last 48 hours, 24 hours, that's when the books raise the limits, the amount of money you can bet on the game. That's when a lot of big bets come in. The vast majority of the action on the Super Bowl comes in the last 2 days or so. So if we start to see, the 45.5 get down to 45, that'll be further evidence of under money coming in. And that 4.5, we're kind of in a dead zone a little bit. But does it get to 5? Does it get down to 4? I would really tell your listeners, pay attention to where this late movement is breaking between now and kickoff on Sunday.
Our favorite prop bet is the length of the anthem. Okay, we're good at calling it. Just curious, your favorite prop bet or two for Seahawks Patriots?
Yeah, so my favorite prop bet is Kayshon Boutte's receiving yards. Kayshon Boutte, Patriots wide receiver, to go over 29.5 receiving yards. I also work with a company called Rhythm, RITHMM, who provides AI-backed models and predictions for game bets and player props. And they have their model has predicted Boutte around 46.5 receiving yards. So that's a pretty good discrepancy. We need 30. Rhythm is predicting, nearly 50. So I'll go over on that one. And I'll give you one little tip, guys, in terms of the coin toss. People love betting the coin toss. It's one of the most popular novelty props. But I would be a little careful, because if you look at the coin toss, the price of the bet, a coin toss is 50-50, heads or tails. Therefore, it should be plus 100, or what we call even money. You look at a lot of these books, heads or tails is like minus 103, minus 104, minus 105. That means you're paying an implied probability of something happening around 51% of the time when it only happens 50% of the time. So the books, they love the coin toss, because the juice on both sides means no matter what it is, heads or tails, they're going to take in a bunch of money. So I would be careful with the coin toss. I know people love it, but you're kind of playing a sucker's bet that the books want you to bet.
And he's dead on. I think tails is +1 all time on this bet, just to prove his point there. You talked about the props a little bit. The MVP, is there? I keep trying to find value at MVP, because the quarterbacks obviously get it most of the time. Is there a value bet on an MVP player to you?
Yeah, I think people take one of two approaches with MVP. Number one, they focus on the quarterbacks. Makes total sense. If you look at a lot of historical data, the QB, as you mentioned, typically wins this award. So right now, Sam Darnold is your favorite at plus 120. You risk 100 to get 120 back. Drake May is your second best MVP odds, plus 240. Then other people like to take like long shot bets, like put a little bit on to see if you can have a big payout here. I didn't really have a play that I love, but I would say, I think Drake May plus 240 is where I would lean a little bit, because if the number one, May is kind of struggled in the postseason, but he's played in a lot of these, blizzard games, bad weather games. It's going to be sunny, 65 degrees. His shoulder was a question. He looks okay now. If he can play well, I'll take the plus 240. I think that's a more valuable play on May to get the upset and play well.
Will there be a safety? Okay, I love this bet. What's the odds? What's the number you can get?
Yeah, these ones are kind of incredible. These are the ones that, it's funny the way like pros and Joes, we like to call them, kind of approach these ones differently, because a lot of recreational bettors, they want to bet a prop bet that's going to pay out a ton. So if you bet, $5, you're going to get, 1,000, 100. So will there be a safety? I don't have it in front of me, but I think it's like plus 1,500. Will the game go to overtime? That's also a big plus money payout. I would say though, guys, a lot of sharp bettors always, every single year, bet no safety and no overtime. Even though it's a big minus number, it doesn't happen very often.
All right, looking at the Super Bowl, he's the contrarian, which I love to hear because David knows I'm taking New England as well in this game just to equal our season-long bets and some MVP stuff as well. Any other prop bet that you like? The Butte bite you like? Is there anything else out there that you think solid?
Yeah, another one that I fell on was Jackson Smith and Jigba actually to go under his receiving yards. Right now it's 93.5. And the guy's great. He could easily go over that number. But the matchup might be a little more difficult. He's going up against Christian Gonzalez, one of the better cornerbacks in football. Also, the way Vrabel may approach Njigba is, the Belichick school of I'm not going to let the best player on the other team beat me. So will he be one-on-one with Christian Gonzalez? Will there be safety help over Jackson Smith and Njigba? To me, going under provides some value because this is one of the most popular bets, Jackson Smith and Njigba to go over, just because he's so good. And it makes sense from a public bettor's perspective. But when you look at a lot of these tweets from these sports books, they're putting out here that their most heavily bet prop bet is him to go over. So just from a contrarian angle of everybody is playing his over, I'll lean under. And that Rhythm AI model actually has him closer to 67 receiving yards. So that's kind of an against the grain underplay. JSN under 93.5.
He has called himself the contrarian bettor. He's Josh Applebaum from VSIN, the sports betting network, the first 24/7 broadcast network dedicated exclusively to sports betting. Follow Josh on X at Josh_insights. Josh_insights. Josh Applebaum. Josh, thanks for doing this. We appreciate it. Have a great Super Bowl.
Thanks so much, guys. Have a great Super Bowl. Thanks for having me on.
Josh Applebaum of VSIN, kind enough to join us here on Miller and Moulton.
Good information there. A little overdone on the spread. I think we've got that by now, but he doesn't know who the audience is.
Right.
But I got a kick out of that, I have to admit.
Right. He thought he was talking to, some beginners,
right.
what plus 4.5 minus 4.5 means. Okay. It's like, no, we're good. No, you can start at the next paragraph, but that's okay.
Couple of poll questions today. Simply who you got. And Josh is right on it. 73% of you got Seattle. He's going the other way. And then if you could have one snack food item for the Super Bowl, what is it? We put wings and pizza up as your hot foods. Chips and dip. And for David, we put a cheese tray up. Right now, wings getting 50% of the vote. Miller and Moulton.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh yeah.
This is Miller and Moulton.
It's funny, Left Twix, I don't consider boneless wings wings. I consider them like nuggets. I don't think it's a wing unless there's bone in it. Mark, there's a couple comments there from Doug and Matthew for you.
Thank you, Doug, and thank you, Matt. And Left Twix, more importantly, that is not a question. That's not even an effing question, okay? A boneless wing is a chicken effing nugget.
Thank you.
It's a chicken effing nugget. There's no such thing as a boneless wing. There are chicken wings. They have bones. How many boneless wings have you seen flying around out there? It's a flippin' nugget. It's not a question.
Oh, I'm fascinated by halftime. I'm absolutely fascinated by halftime. I've never seen this guy perform. I have no idea any of his music. Know the controversy behind it and the whole thing. I'm fascinated by this.
I'm curious if he does the whole thing in Spanish. There's a lot of things about this that I'm fascinated about.
Totally.
No, a boneless wing is not a zinger. You can go to Miller's Ale House all you want. A boneless wing is an effing nugget. Okay? Enough. No, I won't watch Kid Rock. I will not change the channel. I put it on one channel. It stays on there from the time the game starts until the ceremony's over. By the way, I do think it's pretty funny for all the people going after the lyrics of Bad Bunny and Kid Rock's doing the All-American show. Go look at the lyrics of Kid Rock songs. And I like Kid Rock, okay?
Right, you've seen him twice.
Yes.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap? Today was the day when. Some final thoughts, a pick or two coming up. So I'm kind of the geek, the TV geek in me. I'm kind of curious to see how Tirico does. He's unflappable. I don't think he's the best play-by-play guy, but he's, to me, without question mark, the most versatile.
Not even to me, it's not close. I mean,
Right.
when he did hockey, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And I'm not a Tirico guy. I'm not.
Like,
I mean,
I don't
there's a
think
lot
he
of reasons. There's a lot of reasons if you dig in to not like Mike Tirico.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
Okay. I mean, the fact
Yeah.
that hasn't come up with everything that's going on in our society, that they've conveniently just buried all of his past, is amazing to me.
Yeah, well, 20 years ago. But yes, it took a
Okay.
while. It took a while.
Okay, but it doesn't
Yes.
work for everybody else, David.
Well, that's a good point, Mark. Okay. But, I don't think Tirico is the strongest voice. You could not like Joe Buck. Joe Buck's voice cuts through everything. Brad Nessler's voice cuts through, everything. Certain guys,
I'm not a McDonough guy, but he's got a voice that's distinguished.
right. Okay. Nance's voice to me is pretty good, not great. Tirico's voice, like Chris Fowler. I don't think Chris Fowler is a strong voice. Obviously a good broadcaster, but I don't think he has a strong voice. But then again, the Super Bowl is not always a loud thing. In fact, oftentimes it's not. But I'm just curious. It's also, this is 11 years in coming for Tirico. Tirico left ESPN for Sunday. That's why he left ESPN. Yeah, they host the Olympics and all that stuff. Yeah, he left because he was promised he was going to replace Al Michaels, and he was promised it a lot sooner than it happened. Tirico was promised that Rams-Bengals Super Bowl at SoFi. Tirico was told he was going to do that one, and they renewed Al for another term, and they gave Al that Super Bowl. So Tirico's waited over a decade for Sunday night. I'm curious as to how they'll do.
I am as well, but like you, I think Tirico is very solid.
Excellent, yeah.
And I think Collinsworth is good. He gets a bum rap to me in a lot of regards. Now, there are reasons that people don't like him. I get it. I just think we hate everything and everybody most of the time.
Right.
So we tend to go after the negative more than the good jobs that they do.
And I like him because he's willing to criticize. He's also willing to very rarely. Now, he has done it, though. He has. Okay. But a lot of times when I believe an opinion is called for from the analyst, Collinsworth will give his. So I commend him for that. I don't know how many more Super Bowls he's going to do either. I don't know if this will be his last. He might have one more. So we'll see. But Tirico and Collinsworth, NBC Peacock with the game, 6:30 Sunday. And then they go into Olympics, don't they? Don't
Really?
they at like
That
10:30?
late?
Yeah, I think they're doing
To replay some figure skating. I mean, what the hell is there at the? I mean, it's obviously long over by then. It's 3-4 in the morning in Italy at that point.
Right. I mean, you're probably not too far away from another one of your curling matches live, but I believe, because didn't they, when Al and Chris did that SoFi Super Bowl, okay, didn't Tirico then, who was, the studio host for the Super Bowl, and then didn't he go straight into studio host of the Olympics?
I think you're right.
So
I will say, quick update. We're all over Czechia. Great start for the mixed doubles curling team. 5-1 right now. They seem to really have found something with this group, and we're just not hoping. We're just a little unsure that they don't want them to let everything hang out in the preliminaries. You got to take this to the medal round. But right now, curling mixed doubles, lights out for USA. USA.
This will make us 4-0, right?
This will make us 4-0 with a couple of upsets. Sweden and Canada, pretty good. Norway and Czechia, we should beat them. But I like where the mixed doubles team's at early here.
Okay. Now, obviously, this is one of the biggest days in your life, and you may sleep the night away. You may sleep the weekend away.
I have no idea what to expect.
Exactly.
I really don't. I've never done this before, David. Never got.
And from what I'm told, not planning on doing it again.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not planning on getting another immune system. It's a rather big day today.
But let's just say early evening, you're probably not feeling well, but you're awake. All right. First off, are you allowed to have any guests at all or no?
I am. My wife is coming up today. I have, I had a friend visit yesterday. I have one that may visit next week. I've kind of talked with the nurses that they don't love guests, but you're allowed to have them.
Right.
And, they can't be sick and they've got to mask up and all of those things. So,
now, the reason I asked about your wife is she, and this is the Miller Moulton bias, but she is the #1 Olympics television viewer in America.
Very much so. She is very excited to have 2 televisions to watch the Olympics with at home.
But tonight is the opening ceremonies of the Olympics, something that Miller and Moulton don't give a damn about. But I am guessing that Mrs. Miller, that this is a highlight, and it'll be at the exact same time that UConn and St. John's are going at it at the Garden.
Well, she's not staying here the night. She's coming up for my transplant, which is, I just found out, will be at 2:00 today.
Okay.
And it will take between 1 and 3 hours from what I've read. I didn't ask anybody, but just the information they've given me that this whole process takes between an hour and 3 hours. So let's just say it goes the distance. My guess is my wife will bail shortly thereafter when it's done because our daughter's at home. And the thing that we are trying to do, as much as they are, been incredible for me and supportive, is to keep my 11-year-old's daughter's life as sane as possible. Right. So I know for a fact that my wife will make damn sure she's picking my daughter up from gymnastics tonight.
Gotcha.
And that to me is going to happen. That means 8:00. That means she will get home right around the time that the tape delayed opening ceremonies will be airing on NBC.
Right.
And I know for a fact she'll have that on one TV. And I do think it's Friday Night Heights, David. That's college gymnastics. That will be on the other TV.
So it's safe to say, though, that you're going to have Hurley and Patino.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
By the way, I would want to keep count as to how many cutaways of the coaches, because I think there's a chance you could get 100 in this matchup with those 2 coaches and how they pounce on the sidelines. Patino's just a stalk, he just goes up and down. He's a big pacer and what have you. But Hurley, of course, is a maniac.
A maniac.
Right.
And now it will depend. It's one of those, if it's a good game, really tight game, you might not get as much. If some team gets an advantage because that gets more pacing, more stalking, more anger.
Right. So, okay. Just wanted to see how the television viewing was going to go down because I was worried you were going to get boxed out.
Not a chance. This is my room, damn it. All right. I've got the Fire Stick. I've got my YouTube TV. I've got my apps. No. I'm in isolation for basically a month. I'm going to watch whatever the hell I want, and no one's stopping me.
Got my vote. I'm a big fan. Okay. So, all right, just wanted to make sure. Just wanted to make sure you were taken care of. Didn't want you to have to watch the, taped walking into an arena and, oh, look at those outfits. Oh, they're really nice. Oh, what were they thinking with those colors? Anyway. Mary Carrillo, by the way, sitting in for Savannah Guthrie on the opening ceremonies.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000 depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape. Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Excuse me. By the way, Knicks Pistons tonight. Last time, Detroit kicked the tar out of them. Peacock. Oh, I'm sorry, Amazon Prime.
Is mom still in town?
No, she got on the train late afternoon yesterday. She is arriving in Newark right now, I believe.
Okay.
So she had a lovely salmon dinner last night, and she was enjoying breakfast at 8 o'clock. I will say my mother, and I don't know if she eats breakfast at home, but you put her on the road in a hotel or on the train, she loves her breakfast.
Thank you, DTW. Thank you, everybody. It's been very overwhelming. In a great way, but very overwhelming.
Is it the M&M Army? The M&M Armada? What do we have, Paula? Javier, don't say that to Aurora. Although I can't remember seeing Bud Ice. It's not like I go looking for it. Oh, thanks, Paula. I'm a hugger. Okay, we can, with you, it'd be the full hug. There's no bro hug. You get the hug. Koepka's a mess, Sonny. He can't putt. He changed putters for the first time in his career. He's a mess. He did hit a long iron shot yesterday, though. That was just sick.
Did you see the highlights? Did you see the video of the kid that wanted the OC and Brown gone? The Philly kid, young kid, like 10 years old. The Kelseys had him on. The clip's fantastic.
I'd give Jeff Stoutland, by the way, a blank piece of paper and a pen.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
22 minutes until we are done for the week. Once again, thanks to Rick Church for keeping the train on the tracks. Rick and Roger will be the ones producing back in the 239 for the foreseeable future. This week was Rick. Next week is Raj. I mean, it's been 6 shows in a row. He's now going to get to sleep in. Don't know if it's going to hit him right away or if it's going to, have to be till like Tuesday. But Rick, enjoy your life.
I never have a problem sleeping, David, anytime, anywhere. I'll be all right.
It's that time again, nearing the end, but not quite there yet. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
This is a dramatic Rome pause. Or did he freeze up?
Or a technical issue, yes.
I was going to say, I think we lost him.
Uh-oh.
It's the first time his hospital room Wi-Fi has frozen up on him since Monday. So,
what an inopportune time, David. Unless you have a Today Was the Day When lined up.
I didn't do the homework because I didn't think I had to. So Mark will be coming back in here in a few seconds. But the broadcasting gods.
Yes.
They just mess with you, when you least expect it and when you least need it to happen.
Correct.
Also, that is funny. But remember, hockey is done for 3 weeks. They're on freeze. So there's no hockey for you to watch. There's only hoop and golf and tennis and what have you, but there's only hoop. So keep that in mind after the game on Sunday, but also before and in and around the game on Sunday. there is not a ton to watch. That is true. A lot of college hoop, though, and a lot of good college hoop. So we've been saying it for a couple of weeks. We don't know how many of you have taken advantage of it, although I think more than most, because the college basketball ratings for this season on all networks are outstanding. Outstanding. I mean, up double digits and big double digits. And like Mark mentioned earlier in the show, that the college basketball games on Fox on Fridays are beating the NBA on Peacock. That hasn't
Hey guys, I'm
happened
back.
in a long time. I know.
See that? Should we fire up the segment again? Let's do it.
It was so funny. Yeah. We started playing this.
It's that time again, nearing the end, but not quite there yet. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
All right, we'll give it a shot here. Spanish-American War ends today in 1899. NFL rules college students are ineligible to play until they complete their college careers today in 1926. Monopoly goes on sale for the first time in 1935. Today in 1952, Queen Elizabeth II takes the throne in Canada. Ted Williams becomes baseball's highest paid player today in 58, a salary of $135,000. The Righteous Brothers, You Lost That Love and Feeling. It's number 1 today in 65. Today in 67, Muhammad Ali pummels Ernie Terrell for 15 rounds at the Astrodome. It was a brutal, brutal beating. Alan Shepard shanks a shot on the moon today in 71. Centerfold, number 1 song in the land in 82. That was a banger back in 82, David. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, and also we were all convinced that one of the girls in it was Martha Quinn. And I have to admit, I never saw Martha sitting next to whoever the woman in the video was, because they looked like twin sisters.
Brett Hall makes a father-son 50 goals combination when he scored his 50th today in 90. Arthur Ashe died today in 1993. 50 Cent released Get Rich or Die Trying in 2003. It was the album of the year. New England beats Philadelphia in the 39th Super Bowl in Jacksonville today in 2005. Packers beat the Steelers in Super Bowl 45 today in 2011. Aaron Rodgers, your MVP.
Can we just stop for a second? I know we've only said this 400 times, but isn't it shocking to you to realize that for both teams, that's the last time they've been in the Super Bowl?
Yes. For both, but I even think more so for Green Bay.
Yes. I mean, for Pittsburgh, that was their 3rd Super Bowl appearance in 6 seasons. They haven't been back in a damn near a generation. They've only been to 1 conference championship game in those 15 years. And yeah, the Packers have been in like 5 conference championship games.
Leno hosts The Tonight Show for the final time today in 2014. You know, if Letterman would have just got The Tonight Show, would late night TV be better now than it is? Just curious. Aaron Burr had a good shot. Babe Ruth had a good swing. Reagan, Zsa Zsa Gabor, Rip Torn, the great Bob Marley, and Natalie Cole would have all celebrated birthdays today. Mike Farrell, you know him as BJ on MASH, or at least David and I do. He's 87 today. Tom Brokaw is 86. Axl Rose, 64. I think we had the under. Rick Astley, never going to give you up, David. He's 60 today. And Colin Morikawa is 29. What did I miss?
Isn't it great that he has totally embraced that is what is going to be in the first paragraph of his obit, and all the companies who have paid him to want to use that song, and the one company over in Britain that used him in their insurance ads singing the song. I mean, he has been so cool about, this is what I'm going to be remembered for it. So yeah, why not?
Well, and he's done like songs, like the Foo Fighters have done it with him in concert. I mean, it is spanned genres and musicians and somehow stayed, I don't know if cool's the right word, but relevant.
No, I think cool. I think, like you said, the different genre of musicians, the different generation of musicians, and the crowds who are there to see, the headliner. They're like, oh, but I can do 4 minutes of this.
Absolutely. Abso-flippin-lutely.
John Steinbeck's of Mice and Men, published 91 years ago today.
Time to see life a little bit differently. Here's Mark Miller with the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
For the good, we go to Utah. The story is Utah, David, where spirits that turned out to be beer were consumed that were 150 years old. An archaeological team in Utah exhumed a bottle of alcohol that was at least 150 years old. They realized they could drink it, and they did. Apparently, it was more of a beer than a liquor, and now there's a company trying to recreate the taste. Had a little fruitiness to it. I'm not a fruity beer guy, but come on, who doesn't like a 150-year-old beer? For the bad, we go to Wisconsin, where Janesville, Wisconsin folks are in trouble, particularly postal workers, because wild turkeys have been attacking them. Turkeys on the loose in Wisconsin. A postal worker was seen chased down the road. An 8-year-old boy had a run-in with the birds while trying to cross the street. And finally, the ugly. We try not to take domestic disputes lightly on this show. It's a very serious matter. Police were called to respond to a domestic dispute in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, to handle a domestic in progress with no weapons and no intoxication, according to dispatch audio.
Wow.
Officers were told the confrontation is between siblings over who ate the last sticky bun. Now they're threatening to kill one another. According to this report, they don't know where the sticky buns came from, David, but Mr. Sticky's is a Williamsport favorite. Yes. That's a short drive from where the siblings clashed. Mr. Sticky's offers several varieties, including a cinnamon bun topped with our special and delectable cream cheese icing that clearly would be worth fighting over.
Well, this is what you and I have, I don't know if proudly, but just stated matter-of-factly. This is what you and I never had to encounter in our lives being only children. We never had to fight over the one and only or last whatever.
No, and to this day, my wife will ask me, why do you eat so fast? You never had to fight anybody for your food. You never were racing for seconds.
No. Listen, it's indefensible for both of us. It is.
And I don't know if I was that way my whole life or if it was just a matter of getting into this business, particularly when doing play-by-play in radio, trying to snarf a hot dog during a 2-minute break.
I think, and my mom actually agrees, since my mom worked 3 jobs and we were busy and we ate fast food a lot. And I got it from having to wolf down meals in between going somewhere, or she didn't have a lot of time and we went to McDonald's and we grabbed it and then back in the car and let's go. So I think it started with me eating all the fast food growing up.
And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly today, brought to you by, of course, the Cape Coral Police Department, capecops.com. Great jobs, great pay, overtime. All information can be had at capecops.com.
You can start out making $100,000 with the Cape Coral Police. So it's a hot steaming deal. All right. Said it earlier, no hockey for 3 weeks. The freeze is in effect. So a lot of hoop. Only one game tonight involving ranked college basketball teams. Friday night, 8 o'clock on Big Fox. Number 3, UConn. 2.5-point favorites at Madison Square against Pitino and the Johnnies. UConn and the Johnnies at the Garden. You had Michigan State last Friday. I got UConn and the Johnnies at the Garden this Friday.
All right. Does this game do as big of a number as Michigan State did last Friday?
I don't think so because it's going up against the Olympics.
Probably right.
So I think it will hurt it a little bit. 6 games in the NBA, heater in Boston, but game of the night on Prime. If you're interested, Mark, Knicks Pistons 7:30. Last time Knicks went to Detroit whacked them.
Yes, they did. And I am interested, and I have Prime. I'll probably check some of that out tonight.
Knicks
I was
have
just
won.
informed, by the way, on a text from an old friend that I worked with in Nashville, Kim Jump, said that I never ate my French dip sandwiches fast. I savored every bite. I do love me a French dip.
I was going to say it all goes back to that damn French dip.
Such a good sandwich.
It really is.
It's really wonderful.
Knicks have won 8 in a row. All right. See what happens tonight in Detroit.
And the Pistons just got beat by Washington, so they're going to be a little edgy.
Clearly looking ahead to the Knicks game tonight.
Absolutely.
Clearly. So there you go. 4 hours from now, right?
4 hours from now. It's time.
All right. Well, obviously, we love you. We're thinking of you. We're praying for you. And, a lot of people have sent you messages at mark@millerandmoulton.com. You can continue to send messages, by the way. He reads them.
I respond, too. Thank you for really, everybody. It's been very overwhelming. Really has.
Well, I'm glad we could be a distraction for you this week, because I know the other 20 hours you've been bored out of your mind. So thrilled.
Well, there's curling, David. There's always curling.
Well, okay, maybe only 16 hours of the day you've been bored out of your mind. That is true. But the curling didn't start till yesterday, though. First part of the week I know was rough.
No doubt. No doubt. Enjoy the Super Bowl, everybody. Hopefully we get a great game. Miller and Moulton rooting for the same thing every year. Be competitive when the fourth quarter starts. That's all we want.
No doubt. No doubt. And obviously, I'll be here on Monday. Mark's going to play it by how he feels for the rest of the month, which I think we can all understand. But will be a lot to kick around on the field. The halftime entertainment. How many of you are even going to give it a minute, or are you just going to boycott it? So we'll be here for all of it on Monday. Don't know if we're going to have any guests yet. Okay.
You might want to book a couple because you don't know if you're going to have a co-host.
No, that's true. Dadgum, good point. I appreciate the.
I would have a backup plan. That's just me.
Right. Miller and Moulton. Have a great rest of your Friday. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and the show will be back on Monday. Get ready, Southwest Florida. The Southwest Florida Ag Expo is back. Now's the time to save big with the Mega Pass. Your all-in-one ticket to the fun, one low price. Get you one-day admission and unlimited midway rides. Mega Passes available online through February 26th at swflagexpo.com. Don't wait. Grab yours. Get ready for roots, rides, and real fun. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 239-444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
At the Diamond District, we've built our inventory since day one.
We never pass on beautiful jewelry. For years, we've chosen exceptional diamonds and fine jewelry.
And when you buy with love for 2 decades,
your vault fills with extraordinary jewelry. That's why we're emptying the vault now through Valentine's Day. Enjoy rare pricing on jewelry chosen to celebrate love, connection, and commitment.
Will you be mine? Starts with diamonds from the Diamond District. Hablamos Español.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 133251.
This is Miller and Moulton